Chapter 1046. Zhao Yun took another look at old Madame Liang and had a good impression of her. Guo Caixia also agreed, that's right, let's just eat casually. We don't have a choice, right? Let's not cause trouble for eldest sister's family. It's a joyous occasion today, and eldest sister's family is busy enough. Wu Zhenju glanced at Guo Caixia. This sister-in-law of hers was really good at pretending to be a good person. Her words were really pleasant to hear. Although Wu Zhenju had opinions in his heart, it was not good for him to express them. Because old Madame Liang had already spoken up, what else could she say? If she said too much, it would probably make old Madame Liang unhappy. At that time, old Madame Liang would think that she did not know the rules as well as her sister-in-law. Naturally, she would be biased towards the first branch. Now that the Liang family's money was in old Madame Liang's hands, Wu Zhenju did not know how much money old Madame Liang had in her hands. Now that the Fen family was not involved, he definitely could not offend old Madame Liang. Thus, Wu Zhenju smiled and said, yes, yes, yes. Mother, you're right. Let's not eat at the table. Let's just eat casually. Yun, if there's any leftover meat later, you have to bring it over for us. The corner of Zhao Yun's mouth twitched. This second aunt of hers was really not embarrassed to say anything. Got it. Hee, Yun, you can go out and do your work. The few of us will wait in the room. Wu Zhenju pretended to be considerate and said this. Zhao Yun responded faintly. Just as she was about to go out, she pulled Liang Jinyu and said, Aunt, don't stand in the room. Go out and sit outside to eat. Liang Jinyu looked at Zhao Yun with some confusion. Yun, didn't you say that there aren't enough seats outside? You can go and let others sit. I'll just stay in the room. Liang Jinyu was different from the rest of the Liang family. She was genuinely concerned about Zhao Yun. Zhao Yun smiled and said, It's okay, Auntie. There's only one person from your family here. There's enough seats for you. I see. Liang Jinyu was silent for a moment. At this time, Liang Jinfen came over and said to Liang Jinyu, Little sister, if you don't want to go out and do it, then let me go out. I'll take your place at the table. Liang Jinfen thought that eating at the table was better than hiding in the house and eating leftovers. Since there was a seat for Liang Jinyu, she could sit there and eat. Liang Jinfen shamelessly suggested it herself, so Liang Jinyu couldn't refuse. After all, she was her second sister. Zhao Yun'er was unhappy. How could they bully people like this? Second aunt, the seat should be taken by youngest aunt. What's the reason for you to replace it? Yun'er, your youngest aunt hasn't said anything yet. Why do you care so much? This is my house. Of course, I care. You, Zhao Yun'er couldn't be bothered to talk to Liang Jinfen. She directly pulled Liang Jinyu out. After arranging for Liang Jinyu to sit at the table, Zhao Yun'er reminded Liang Jinyu, youngest aunt, don't let them sit. After all, you brought the gift money over. Youngest uncle hasn't come yet. If you don't come to the table today, my father and mother will have to go to your house to return the gift. After hearing Zhao Yun'er's words, Liang Jinyu didn't want Zhao Wenhua and Liang Jinxia to go to her house to return the gift. She could only nod and agree. Okay, Yun'er, I know. I'll eat at the table myself. I won't let anyone else eat. Chapter 1047. After solving the problem of not having enough seats, Zhao Yun turned around and entered the kitchen to continue working. After settling the guests down, Zhao Wenhua went to the courtyard to set off a string of firecrackers, because the banquet had begun. Piping hot and fragrant dishes were served from the kitchen. The freshly cooked dishes were placed on the table. When the guests tasted Zhao Yun'er's cooking, they were all praising how delicious it was. It wasn't that they hadn't eaten banquets before. Some banquets were even prepared by the chefs of the restaurants. However, they felt that the dishes made by the chefs were not as good as Zhao Yun'er's dishes. It's so delicious. Yes, it's delicious, too delicious. I've eaten so many banquets, but this is the first time I've eaten such good food. Isn't that so? But who is the one who cooked this dish? Speaking of this question, all of them looked at Zhao Wenhua. Brother Wenhua, which restaurant's chef did your family invite for today's banquet? Yes, tell me. When my family holds a banquet later, I'll invite him back too. How much do we have to pay the chef for this banquet? Is it a few hundred copper coins? Or a few taels of silver? I think it's a few taels of silver. I've eaten the dishes made by a chef before. I heard that he was paid 2 taels of silver a day, but it's not as good as the dishes made by Brother Wenhua's family today. Everyone at the dining table began to interrogate Zhao Wenhua. Usually, when the villagers held banquets, other than the ones made by their own family, those who had a little bit of money would go to the town to find a chef to cook. However, if they invited a chef back, the salary for a day's work was not small. The cheaper ones were a few hundred copper coins, and the more expensive ones were a few taels of silver. Looking at the dishes made by Zhao Yun's family, it should be worth a few taels of silver. If that was really the case, then it could only be said that Zhao Yun's family was too rich. They were so rich that they could invite such an expensive chef back. How could an ordinary villager have the money to do so? In the face of these people's interrogation, Zhao Wenhua smiled. My family didn't invite a chef back. It was my second daughter, Yun who made it. When Zhao Wenhua mentioned Zhao Yun he couldn't hide the smile on his face, and there was a bit of pride in his tone. After all, Zhao Yun's dishes today were unanimously praised by everyone at the dinner table, which made him feel very proud. When they heard Zhao Wenhua said that it was made by Zhao Yun they were slightly surprised. It was actually made by Yun's. That's right, Yun's skills are so good. That's right, it's even better than the food cooked by the chefs in the restaurant. That's why the heir took a fancy to her. I think Yun must have her own unusual aspects. Now that I look at it, it is indeed so. Just based on her cooking skills, in our village, no, in our town, we might not be able to find someone who can cook better than Yun's skills can directly be a chef. These people, one after another, praised Zhao Yun to the sky. Other than those who sincerely thought that Zhao Yun was amazing, there were also those who flattered Zhao Wenhua to make him happy and get close to Zhao Wenhua. Chapter 1048. Now that Zhao Yun's family was not only rich, but they also had Mu Lianfeng as their backer. Ordinary people would not dare to offend them. Zhao Wenhua laughed heartily upon hearing these people's words. He was in a very good mood. You're flattering me, you're flattering me. My Yun only made some home-cooked dishes. It just so happens that you guys like them. Since everyone thinks it's delicious, eat more. As he spoke, Zhao Wenhua also greeted the people at the other tables. In addition to good dishes, there was also good wine today. The men drank wine and ate at the same time. They were very comfortable. Brother Wenhua, we're not flattering you. Yun's cooking is so delicious. When I hold a banquet later, I wonder if I can invite Yun over to be my chef. When the time comes, I can pay Yun someone suggested at this time. Zhao Wenhua smiled and said, I can't make that decision. I have to ask Yun Yun has to be willing to go. Of course. I have to ask for Yun's opinion. Yes. The dining table was very lively, but the kitchen was getting busier. Dishes were constantly being cooked and served. Other than Zhao Yun, who was very busy, Zhao Tianhu and Zhao Tianan did not rest either. They were constantly running back and forth. It was indeed difficult to serve a 10-table banquet. They had to serve the new dishes and take back the plates that they had finished eating. This was considered physical work. Fortunately, the two of them were strong young men. Although they were a little tired when they were busy, they were not so tired that they could not move. Seeing Zhao Tianan constantly busy, Muhin felt a little distressed. While waiting for the dishes to be served, Muhin walked up to Zhao Tianan, took out her handkerchief, and wiped Zhao Tianan's head. She said to Zhao Tianan, "Tianan, let me wipe your sweat. You're sweating a lot." Zhao Tianan met Mu Hin's eyes and did not refuse. After Mu Hin finished wiping, he said to Mu Hin, "Thank you." Mu Hin lowered her head shyly. "You're welcome." Zhao Tianan smiled, revealing a little white teeth. His canine teeth were even more adorable. Mu Xian took some leftovers from the side. They weren't leftovers from others, but leftovers that hadn't been served yet. She took a small bowl and prepared to feed Tianan. "Tianan, you've been busy for so long and you haven't eaten anything. Eat a little now, or else you'll starve. It'll take more energy to serve the dishes later." Zhao Tianan glanced at Mu Hin again, thought for a moment, and nodded. "Okay, I'll eat some first." Okay. Mu Hin said, and put a spoonful into Zhao Tianan's mouth. Zhao Tianhu watched from the side, feeling very envious. Zhao Tianan had people who cared about him, loved him, and cared for him, but he had none. He was obviously older than Zhao Tianan. Why did Zhao Tianan have girls who cared about him, but he did not? He was obviously older than Zhao Tianan. If Zhao Tianan was married, but he, as his cousin, did not, how embarrassing would that be? Sigh. Zhao Tianhu sighed softly. Zhao Yun heard this and asked, "Second cousin, what's wrong with you? Why are you sighing? Are you tired? If you're tired, you can rest for a while." Zhao Tianhu smiled and waved his hand. No. I'm tired." Then Zhao Yun looked at Zhao Tianhu curiously. Chapter 1049. Zhao Yun raised her eyebrows curiously. "What's wrong with Tianan? Tianan is so lucky. There are other girls who care for him, and you're feeding him food, but I don't." After saying that, Zhao Tianhu pursed his lips, feeling a little wronged and frustrated. Zhao Yun giggled. She thought that her second cousin was really funny and had a lot of fun talking. When Zhao Tianan heard Zhao Tianhu's words, he blushed slightly and didn't dare to take the food that Mu Hin handed over. Mu Hin also stood at the side shyly. "I say, second cousin, do you also want a woman to care for you and love you? Isn't the one you went on a blind date with pretty good? If you marry her, you'll be able to enjoy life like Tianan." Zhao Yun joked. She wondered if all men were the same. Once they reached a certain age, they would want to marry and have a woman to accompany and take care of them. Even if I wanted to marry her, I might not be able to. Maybe she doesn't like me. I'm not as lucky as Tianan." Zhao Tianhu mumbled. Zhao Yun patted Zhao Tianhu's shoulder and comforted him. "Second cousin, don't think too badly. You have good qualities, so why wouldn't she like you? Don't worry, I think it'll work." After being comforted by Zhao Yun, Zhao Tianhu's mood improved a lot. "Little sister Yun, you really think highly of me. With your words, I feel much more at ease. I'm just telling the truth. Come, second cousin, there aren't any other girls to feed you. Let me feed you." As Zhao Yun spoke, she brought some food over and handed it to Zhao Tianhu's mouth. Zhao Tianhu's face reddened slightly. "Little sister Yun, This is okay." Zhao Tianhu was a little shy, and both sides of his face turned red. "What's wrong with that? Come, let's eat." Unable to resist Zhao Yun's enthusiasm, Zhao Tianhu finally ate it. "Thank you, little sister Yun, You're welcome, second cousin. Just wait until you get married in the future." Zhao Tianhu responded. After hearing Zhao Yun's words, his heart became more and more expectant. If he could have a wife, what kind of feeling would it be? Wouldn't it be wonderful? While Zhao Yun was busy, on the other side, the family Qin people carried Zhao Ping back home. Along the way, Qin Yuan's face was dark and sullen. Just thinking about it made Zhao Ping angry. This woman only knew how to embarrass him. She thought about how Zhao Ping was dressed. Qin Yuan was even more furious. She was such an ugly woman. Later, he would have to go through the wedding ceremony with her. Did he do something bad in his previous life? Did he kill a lot of people? Was that why God treated him like this? Just as he was deep in thought, there was a sudden loud noise. The whole sedan chair collapsed. Zhao Ping sat on the ground and cried out in pain. Ouch, what's going on? Why did the sedan chair collapse? Mu Chunfang asked anxiously. The two men carrying the sedan chair were helpless. We don't know. It collapsed while we were carrying it. It's probably because the sedan chair was too old and couldn't bear the weight. Didn't we say before we came that the sedan chair might not be able to hold it? See, we were right, weren't we? It's not my fault that the sedan chair is broken. Chapter 1050. If she had known that this would happen, she would not have used such a broken sedan. Unfortunately, it was useless to regret now. She had already used it. What else could she do? Mu Chunfang said to the men carrying the sedan, Don't blame you, don't blame you. Who said that I blame you? It's good that you don't blame us. We were just greeting you. This really has nothing to do with us. I know. Mu Chunfang responded, her heart aching for the sedan. Zhao Ping lay on the ground and wanted to continue crying out in pain. Mother, it hurts so much. Mother, Mu Chunfang did not have the mind to care about Zhao Ping. She said to Zhao Ping, Little Ping, get up yourself. Mother, I can't get up. The sedan is ruined. Mother, you shouldn't have come with such a frame. If I had known, I wouldn't have sat there. My butt is bleeding from the fall. Mu Chunfang could not be bothered with Zhao Ping's ridicule. She was only concerned about what to do with the sedan. She was afraid that they would have to pay for it if they ruined the sedan. Although it was already broken enough and they could not be blamed for it being ruined, what could she do if they insisted on it? Qin Yuan walked to Zhao Ping and pulled Zhao Ping up from the ground. Isn't it all because of you? It must be because you are so heavy that you crushed the sedan. Faced with Qin Yuan's fierce reprimand, Zhao Ping pursed her lips and felt very wronged. Big brother Yuan, just as she was about to say something, she was interrupted by Qin Yuan's cold voice. Enough. Don't talk to me. I don't want to talk to you. Big brother Yuan. Zhao Ping felt even more wronged. Big brother Yuan, I also didn't want to ruin the frame. You can't blame me for this. Enough. Don't say any more. I don't want to hear you say so much. If you want to get married, get up yourself and walk. There's no sedan to carry you now. Oh. Zhao Ping replied weakly. What could she do now? In order to be with Qin Yuan, she had no choice but to get up and walk. Qin Yuan did not have any intention of showing mercy. He pulled Mu Chunfang and continued to rush forward. Mother, let's go back quickly. Don't waste too much time. Mu Chunfang glanced at Zhao Ping and said to Qin Yuan, there's no need to rush, right? Should we wait for Ping? Qin Yuan replied unhappily, what are you waiting for? There was no need to wait. Let her go by herself. You're already so old, yet you can't even keep up with us. Sigh, when Mu Chunfang saw Qian Yan's dark expression, he didn't dare to say anything. He was afraid that he would make the Qin Yuan unhappy. She only called out to Zhao Pinger, hurry up and catch up. Zhao Ping endured the pain in her butt and got up from the ground. She limped along. As she followed, she even called out to Qin Yuan and Mu Chunhua, Big brother Yuan, Mother, can you guys walk slower and wait for me for a while? Big brother Yuan, no matter how Zhao Ping called out, Qin Yuan did not have any intention of responding to Zhao Ping. When they were about to reach the village, Qin Yuan walked in front of Zhao Yun and said to Zhao Ping, hurry up and cover your head with the veil. Don't let others see your ugly appearance. Zhao Ping could only respond and cover her head with the red veil according to Qin Yuan's instructions. Chapter 1051. Now that they were in the village, they had to maintain some dignity. Their family Qin didn't want to make a fool of themselves. After supporting Zhao Ping, they slowly entered the village. When the villagers saw Zhao Ping, and Qin Yuan coming over, they began to shout. The bride and groom are here. The bride is here, the bride is here. Ah, she's finally back. The bride looks so beautiful in her clothes. She must be very beautiful too. Yes, the groom is so lucky. I didn't expect Qin Yuan to be able to marry a wife. His wife's clothes are not bad. He's really lucky. After these people chattered, Qin Yuan heard them and his face darkened even more. He couldn't help it even if he didn't want to. After all, he was really angry. Everyone was ridiculing him and looking down on him. It was too much. Fortunately, they didn't know what Zhao Ping looked like. If they knew what Zhao Ping looked like, it would be terrible. He didn't know what to say. However, since Zhao Ping had married into the village, Zhao Ping's appearance would be seen by the villagers one day. At the thought of this, Qin Yuan was very angry and frustrated. Why? Why was he so pitiful? He was very upset. He glanced at Zhao Ping and wanted to vent his anger on Zhao Ping. Obviously, now was not the time. With a sullen face, Qin Yuan took Zhao Ping back to the family Qin. When they returned to the family Qin, many people gathered in the family Qin to join in the fun. No matter how unhappy Qin Yuan was, in the end, he still bowed to heaven and earth with Zhao Ping. After that, he responded to the guests coming and going. After all, it was his wedding day, so he drank a lot of wine. After Zhao Ping was sent to the family Qin, she was left alone in the wedding room. No one paid attention to her. Zhao Ping was also very helpless. The family Qin people were all dealing with the guests and didn't have time to pay attention to her. However, Zhao Pinger hadn't eaten anything to begin with, and after walking for such a long time, her stomach was starving. She began to grumble. Zhao Ping shouted outside the house for a while, but no one paid her any attention. After waiting for Mu Chunfang to enter the house, Zhao Ping said to Mu Chunfang, "Mother, I'm hungry." Mu Chunfang said indifferently, "It's okay, Ping, girl. When we girls get married, it's always like this. You can't eat. Bear with it." In front of Mu Chunfang, Zhao Ping didn't dare to be as willful as she was in front of Liang Jinxiao. If she was in front of Liang Jinxiao, she would probably be crying for food. Zhao Ping suddenly remembered that before she left, Liang Jinxiao persuaded her to eat. In the end, she refused and didn't eat. Now, there was only regret. Why couldn't she be more obedient and eat? But mother, I'm hungry, so hungry. I'm so hungry that my stomach is hurting. Zhao Ping whined pitifully. However, to Zhao Ping's disappointment, Mu Chunfang didn't pay any attention to her and didn't feel sorry for her. "Ping, girl, there are still a lot of things to be done outside. Mother is going out to work. You stay in the house and don't wander around, okay?" After Mu Chunfang finished speaking, he directly went out of the house. Chapter 1052. At night, Qin Yuan was a drunken mess. Seeing that Qin Yuan was so drunk that he was unconscious, Mu Chunfang and Qin Dashan hurriedly dragged Qin Yuan into the room. The bridal chamber had to be consummated. Their family Qin did not have any grandchildren yet, and they were already old. People of their age in the village would have had grandchildren long ago. If something happened between Qin Yuan and Zhao Ping, although Qin Yuan would be wronged, if Zhao Ping could get pregnant, it would be a joyous occasion. Qin Dashan and Mu Chunfang struggled for a while before they finally got Qin Yuan onto the wedding bed. Looking at the unconscious Qin Yuan, Mu Chunfang chuckled and said to Zhao Ping, Ping, Yuan, is drunk. Hurry and serve him well. The two of you should sleep in the bridal chamber as soon as possible. Mu Chunfang specifically emphasized the word bridal chamber. Zhao Ping, was not a fool. She naturally knew what Mu Chunfang meant by the word bridal chamber. She replied shyly, Mother, I know, all right, then you two should rest. Father and Mother won't disturb you anymore. Zhao Ping nodded heavily. She could not suppress the excitement in her heart. Looking at Qin Yuan's face, she was even more excited. Today, she really got her wish and got married to Qin Yuan. She had become a distant daughter-in-law. She did not dare to believe it when she said it. This period of time really passed quickly. It was over in a short while. What she had been hoping for was now a reality. Zhao Ping thought about the bridal chamber with Qin Yuan again, and her face flushed. Bridal chamber. They were really going to have a bridal chamber. After waiting for Qin Dashan and Mu Chunfang to leave, Zhao Ping was like a hungry wolf. She could not wait to devour Qin Yuan. She could not help it. She really liked Qin Yuan too much. Once she thought about doing it with Qin Yuan, she could not suppress the restlessness in her heart. But now that Qin Yuan was unconscious, she did not know if he still had the ability to do it. Woo, after Qin Yuan was drunk, he felt very uncomfortable and could not help but want to vomit. Zhao Ping hurriedly asked Qin Yuan with concern, Brother Yuan, what's wrong? Brother Yuan, are you okay? Brother. Qin Yuan simply couldn't be bothered with Zhao Pinger. Hearing Zhao Pinger's voice, his brows tightly knit together. Don't care about me, get lost. Why would Zhao Ping leave? Instead, she stuck to him even more. Brother Yuan, woo, what's wrong with you? If you have something to say, just tell me. If you feel uncomfortable, I'll get you some water. I don't feel uncomfortable. I'm fine. Just don't come near me. Although Qin Yuan's eyes were not open, his tone was still full of disdain. Brother Yuan. You're my husband now. How can I not go near you? Brother Yuan. If you're fine, let's go to the bridal chamber. As she spoke, Zhao Ping began to tug Qin Yuan's clothes impatiently. Qin Yuan's frown deepened. Don't touch me, Zhao Ping, You ugly woman. Try touching me again. Qin Yuan said angrily. Seeing Qin Yuan like this, Zhao Ping guessed that she would not be able to consummate her marriage with Qin Yuan tonight. But when she thought of not being able to consummate their marriage, Zhao Ping felt very indignant. Chapter 1053. If she did not consummate her marriage with Qin Yuan, then even if she married Qin Yuan, it would be in name only. She did not want that to happen. Therefore, no matter what, she had to consummate her marriage with Qin Yuan. Big brother Yuan, since I'm married to you, I'm your wife. Which man won't let his woman touch him? Zhao Ping grumbled in Qin Yuan's ear, feeling very wronged. Ugly woman, don't even think about touching me. Let me tell you, I won't fancy an ugly woman like you. Just give up. Qin Yuan shouted. Although Qin Yuan was quite drunk, he still had a little bit of consciousness. He knew that the person in front of him was Zhao Ping. Once he thought of Zhao Ping, he felt very disgusted in his heart. However, because he drank too much, his eyelids were very heavy when he wanted to open his eyes. He could not open them even if he used all his strength. Big brother Yuan. Boo-hoo, when Zhao Ping heard Qin Yuan's words, she could not help but choke with sobs. Why did he have to treat her like this? He was too much. These words were not enough to completely hurt Zhao Ping's heart. The main thing was that Qin Yuan shouted a few times after that. Youngest aunt. Youngest aunt. Hui. Zhao Ping was not a fool. She naturally knew who Qin Yuan was shouting for. It was her youngest aunt, Zhao Xinhui. Zhao Ping gritted her teeth in hatred. Her big brother Yuan was indeed still thinking about her youngest aunt in his heart. Just thinking about it made Zhao Ping angry. He could have liked anyone, but he just had to like her youngest aunt. Big brother Yuan. I'm your wife. You can't think of another woman in your heart. Zhao Ping muttered. Looking at Qin Yuan like this, even if she wanted to listen to him, he would not be able to hear her. Forget about consummating their marriage. No, she could not just let it go like this. Zhao Ping suddenly thought of the things she had prepared before, and the corners of her mouth rose slightly, forming a smile. Fortunately, she was very quick-witted. After listening to Ma Xiaofeng's words, she prepared the things. Otherwise, he really didn't know what to do with tonight's situation. Zhao Ping took out a small bag from the dowry she brought. Zhao Ping took out a stick of incense. Once the incense was lit, the smoke it produced had an aphrodisiac effect, similar to an aphrodisiac. Zhao Ping quickly took out a match, lit the incense, and placed it in the room. Not long after, smoke filled the entire room. Zhao Ping smelled the fragrance and felt her whole body start to heat up. Then, she had a very strong desire. Qin Yuan, who was lying on the bed, smelled the incense and his body began to heat up. Zhao Ping went in front of Qin Yuan and muttered beside Qin Yuan's ear, "Big brother Yuan, I'm so hot. I'm so hot. Help me." Big brother Yuan, Zhao Ping's voice was gentle and very seductive. Qin Yuan's situation was similar to Zhao Ping's. His body was very hot. After Qin Yuan felt that his body was hot, he started to take off his clothes piece by piece. Until he took off all the clothes on his body, he still felt abnormally hot. Zhao Ping had long been attracted by Qin Yuan's naked body. His eyes were fixed on Qin Yuan's body, looking back and forth. Previously, she had not even seen Qin Yuan's shirtless appearance, let alone taking off all his clothes. The more Zhao Ping looked, the hotter her body became. She could not help but lick the corners of her mouth. Big brother Yuan. Chapter 1054. Then, she impatiently took off her clothes. She wished she could strip herself naked and stick to Qin Yuan. After taking off all her clothes, Zhao Ping started to rub against Qin Yuan's body again. Big brother Yuan, I can't take it anymore. Hurry up and help me, big brother Yuan. As Zhao Ping spoke, she hugged Qin Yuan and started kissing him. Qin Yuan drank a lot of wine and was also affected by the burning passion incense. He was already delirious and did not have any self-awareness. He only felt that his body was burning up and desperately wanted to find something to vent. Coincidentally, Zhao Ping wrapped herself around his body and stuck her tongue into his mouth. Qin Yuan felt that something on his body was being aroused. He immediately pulled Zhao Ping over and pressed her under his body. Then, he started nibbling on Zhao Ping's body. Zhao Ping was pleasured by Qin Yuan and cried out for the entire night. She worked very hard. Because she knew that the man who was riding on her body and plowing her with all his might was the man she loved. While Zhao Ping and Qin Yuan were doing it in the room, in another room, Qin Dashan and Mu Chunfang were already overjoyed. They were originally worried that their son could not make it. Now, it seemed that there was no need to worry. The family Qin's room was poor, so it was not soundproof. They could hear Zhao Ping's cries more clearly. Looking at the situation, Qin Yuan had a lot of fun tonight. If they could do this every day, Zhao Ping would probably be able to get pregnant soon. When Zhao Ping was pregnant, they would naturally be able to carry her. Mu Chunfang leaned on Qin Dashan and praised him. Yuan-er's father, you're still the best. You said that drunken sex is messed up, so this is the best time to send it over. As expected, look at our family's Yuan-er. He's really working hard. However, it was understandable that this was his first time. He was young and impetuous, and this was his first time cheating on her. They're all like this. Qin Dashan smiled and said, of course, the old saying is right. But Yuan, that child, looks soft and weak. I didn't expect him to be quite good in this aspect. He's comparable to me when I was young. Mu Chunfang looked at Qin Dashan shyly and said, "That's enough. Don't be so smug. Aren't you ashamed?" Qin Dashan smiled. "What are you shy about? Why are you being so serious in front of your wife? Shameless." Mu Chunfang glared at Qin Dashan, embarrassed and annoyed. Qin Dashan smiled wretchedly. "I say, Yuan's mother, how long has it been since the two of us did that?" Mu Chunfang replied shyly, "It's been so long, who would remember?" Then, Yuan's mother, look at how hard Yuan, and Ping, are moaning. It makes one's heart itch to hear it. Yuan's mother, do the two of us want to do it once too? After Qin Dashan finished speaking, he started to move closer to Mu Chunfang. Mu Chunfang glared at Qin Dashan. "You're already so old. What are you still doing? Aren't you afraid that you'll break your own bones?" Qin Dashan couldn't hold himself back. "Yuan's mother, it's not like we do it often. Just once. Just once will do." Mu Chunfang looked at Qin Dashan with some resentment. "You old thing. In the past, when I wanted to do it, you wouldn't do it no matter how I called you." Chapter 1055. So you also know that it's your fault. Yes. Of course, I know. Yuan's mother, don't worry. I won't do that again. You can order me around as much as you want in the future. Mu Chunfang then nodded in agreement. Actually, she didn't intend to refuse from the start. She just nagged at Qin Dashan. Qin Dashan pounced on her like a hungry wolf. Thus, there was another woman's cry in the family Qin room. After the banquet was set up in Zhao Yun's house, the guests who came to eat then gradually dispersed. The members of the Liang family sat in the third branch's room and ate. They ate happily. There were quite a lot of dishes prepared for the banquet, so after the banquet, there were quite a lot of dishes left in Zhao Yun's house. Especially some meat dishes. Zhao Yun still prepared too much meat. They ate a lot without a table, so there was still a lot left. After Mulan and Muhin were done with their work, Zhao Ping asked them to bring back a lot of vegetables. They were all picked out and brought back. There was also old Madame Chen. Because she asked them to come over to help, she naturally prepared a lot of good food for him to bring back. The Liang family members who were full were a little reluctant to leave. They had never eaten such things on a normal day. Zhao Yun originally thought that the relatives who had eaten would leave. She didn't expect that these people's skin was much thicker than she thought, especially Liang Jinfen. After Liang Jinfen finished eating, he strolled into Zhao Yun's kitchen and looked at the leftover dishes. She didn't know what he was looking at. Zhao Ping thought that Liang Jinfen was planning to steal her family's vegetables, so she walked into the kitchen and asked Liang Jinfen, "Second aunt, what are you doing?" When Liang Jinxiao saw Zhao Yun'er coming over, he smiled embarrassedly and said, "Yun'er, hee. Actually, I just want to see how many dishes are left in your kitchen from the banquet." Now that he looked at it, he felt that there were quite a lot of leftovers. There are also many good dishes. Zhao Yun'er's mouth twitched. She hated Liang Jinfen's scheming eyes. So be it. This is my family's business. Second aunt, this is not something your family should worry about. Liang Jinfen continued to smile awkwardly. "Yun'er, what are you saying?" "Second aunt, you can't just say it." Zhao Yun'er sneered. Her second aunt really knew how to pretend. Her eyes were fixed on the dishes and she wanted to get some leftovers, but she was just saying it casually. Zhao Yun'er smirked and asked coldly, "Second aunt, are you really just saying it casually? Since you're done talking, hurry up and get out." Zhao Yun'er looked like she was chasing him away. Liang Jinfen immediately panicked. "Aya, why are you like this? How can you chase people away like this? Is this how you treat your second aunt? You're not filial at all." Liang Jinfan's nagging made Zhao Yuner very annoyed. Second aunt, are you leaving or not? If you don't, I don't mind kicking you out. You're acting like a thief. Also, don't flaunt your seniority all day long. Elder? Who has an elder like you? Being filial to you is what your daughter should do. It has nothing to do with me. Chapter 1056. Some people were just like that. They could not be persuaded and had to resort to violence. She had no one to blame but herself for embarrassing herself. After Liang Jinfen was kicked out, she fell heavily to the ground. She cried out in pain as her butt was kicked. She fell to the ground and felt that her body was falling apart. She was in so much pain that she could not even crawl on the ground. Liang Jinfen did not expect Zhao Yun to attack her. This little b*tch. She really did not care about anything when she was provoked. At least she would not be so ruthless on account of her elders, right? Wah, big sister. Liang Jinfen yelled at the top of her lungs as she lay on the ground like a shrew. Liang Jinxiao walked over with a frown and asked, "Second sister, what are you?" Liang Jinfen grabbed Liang Jinxiao's hand and cried to Liang Jinxiao. "Big sister, sob sob sob. Look at your good daughter. She kicked me out of the kitchen. Big sister, how can a junior hit an elder like this? What kind of upbringing is this? If word gets out, it will be a disgrace to you, big sister." Liang Jinfen's voice was very loud, which made the rest of the Liang family come out. Liang Jinfen did this because she wanted everyone to help her criticize Zhao Yun. With one more mouth and one more mouth, it could help her build momentum and pressure Liang Jinxiao together so that Liang Jinxiao would be able to entertain her. Liang Jinxiao frowned slightly. She looked at Liang Jinfen and then at Zhao Yun. She knew that Zhao Yun was not a reckless person. Liang Jinfen must have done something to upset Zhao Yun, so Liang Jinfen attacked her. "Yuner, this." Liang Jinxiao's eyes were full of doubts. The Liang family came over. After hearing what Liang Jinfen said, they began to scold Zhao Yuner. "What is this Yun girl doing? No matter what, she can't attack her elders like this, right?" "That's right. Yun didn't do that. She didn't respect her elders. If word got out, people would talk about it. You're already so old, why don't you know the rules? Let Yuner apologize to second younger sister. Yuner is in the wrong." "That's right. Yun was in the wrong. Let Yun apologize to her second aunt. Eldest sister, you're Yuner's mother. What do you think about Yuner?" The Liang family said one sentence after another. They were all scolding Zhao Yuner. Of course, he was gloating more than anything. Zhao Yuner made the Liang family's women unable to eat at the table today. Wu Zhenju held a grudge against her. Naturally, he took the opportunity to scold her. Liang Jinfen was even more proud when she saw that the Liang family was on her side. She thought that even if she didn't say anything, with the Liang family around, Zhao Yuner would definitely be forced to apologize to her. Thinking of this, she felt much better. Liang Jinfen planned that if Zhao Yuner apologized to her later, she wouldn't accept it so easily. She had to extort Zhao Yuner and ask Zhao Yuner to give her the leftovers. She had to give her some meat too. In addition to the leftovers, she had to give her some wedding candies and other things. Of course, these were all Liang Jinfen's thoughts. Zhao Yuner snorted. The Liang family was really interesting. They actually wanted her to apologize. They were dreaming. Chapter 1057. Zhao Yun stood up and snorted. "Apologize? Why should I apologize? You're shamelessly staying in my kitchen and refusing to leave. Since I can't invite you out, I can only kick you out. Second aunt, tell me yourself, did I ask you to leave first? You little girl. I'm only staying in your kitchen for a while. Why did you kick me out?" Liang Jinfen spat in dissatisfaction. "That's right, Yun, girl. Your second aunt is only staying for a while. Why did you kick her out? Why are you so petty? You're even treating your own family like this. That's right, you didn't even let us eat at the table. Wu Zhenju mocked even more. Zhao Yun stared coldly at the weirdo. It's fine for you to come into my kitchen, but it's not right for you to stare at the things in my kitchen. Who stared at your things? You lass, don't spout nonsense. Liang Jinfen couldn't keep her face as she angrily retorted. Is that so? Zhao Yun smiled. Liang Jinfen felt that he had been tricked by Zhao Yun If he said yes, it would be difficult for him to ask for the leftovers later. Zhao Yun would even find an excuse to refuse. He might as well bring it up now and save himself the trouble of asking later. Big sister, I just wanted to see how many leftovers you have. When I came to the kitchen just now, I saw a lot of leftovers. Your family definitely can't finish it all. Why don't you bring some back for us? After Liang Jinfen finished speaking, Liang Jinxiao was stunned. Actually, it wasn't impossible to give some to Liang Jinfen, but judging from Zhao Yun's expression, she probably didn't want to give it to him. Second aunt, if I remember correctly, you said not long ago that you didn't want to eat leftovers. Why, now you want to eat leftovers? Zhao Yun asked with a smile. Liang Jinfen's expression was very ugly. The corner of his mouth twitched slightly as he defended himself. That's because I didn't know before. I just ate your leftovers and thought it was quite delicious. Anyway, you have so much at home that you can't finish it. Why don't you bring some back for us so that we can help you finish it? Don't you think so? When Zhao Yun heard this, she only found it laughable. Liang Jinfen was really thick-skinned to a certain extent. It was one thing for her to want the leftovers, but the main thing was that she acted as if it was a matter of course and she had no qualms about it. It was as if their family had given her leftovers and had to thank her for eating them instead of wasting them. How could there be such a disgusting person in this world? Zhao Yun felt that she could no longer express her disgust. Second aunt, thank you for your kindness, but there are many people in my family, so it's not like I can't finish it. When eldest uncle and second uncle come to my house to work, we can serve the leftovers today. Zhao Yun replied with a fake smile. Speaking of this, Liang Jinshun and Liang Jinhui felt that it was true. But if Liang Jinfen took away all the good stuff, then what were they going to eat when they returned? Second sister, Yun, is right. When we return to work, there will be many men coming to work, so we can eat faster. That's right. We work every day, so we can eat more. You'd better not bring any leftovers. Leave them for us to eat. For their own benefit, Liang Jinshun and Liang Jinhui diverted the topic to Zhao Yun's side again. After all, other people couldn't eat the leftovers, but they could come over to work every day to eat. Liang Jinfen smiled embarrassedly. Yun, what are you saying? How can your eldest uncle and second uncle serve leftovers? They have to cook new dishes every day. Chapter 1058. Zhao Yun didn't say anything. She wanted to see what Liang Jinfen was going to say. Zhao Yun was calm, but Zhao Yun's uncles weren't as calm. They said to Liang Jinfen, second sister, you're wrong. Cooking new dishes costs money. Second sister, big brother is right. Cooking new dishes costs money. Ping's family's money is money, isn't it? That's right. Liang Jinhui and Liang Jinshun weren't really thinking about Zhao Yun's family and helping them save money. They were thinking about their own interests. Although it was leftovers, there was chicken, fish, and meat. It was much better than what they usually ate. Plus, the food that Zhao Yun cooked was delicious. If she gave it to Liang Jinfen, what else would they eat? At this moment, the other members of old Zhao's family also came out to join in the fun. Li Chuiying said at the top of his voice, Yun is giving leftovers to her relatives. Doesn't that mean we get a share too? Yun, you can't be biased. If you give it to your mother's relatives, you have to give it to our relatives too, right? Feng Zhangxia came over and agreed. That's right. Her surname is Zhao, not Liang. If she's not an idiot, she'll know who she's closer to. Li Chuiying and Feng Zhangxia weren't easy to deal with. With such a good bargain, they naturally had to take advantage of it. They were already looking forward to Zhao Yun's family's dishes. If Zhao Yun gave it to the Liang family, there was no reason not to give it to them. With Li Chuiying and Feng Zhangxia stirring things up, the Liang family knew that it was fine if Zhao Yun didn't give it to them. Once she gave it to them, she couldn't be biased. Everyone had to give it to them. No matter how much leftovers there wouldn't be much left after this. Liang Jinhui and Liang Jinshan knew this, so they weren't stupid enough to ask for more. They hurriedly said to Liang Jinfen and the others, okay, Yun's family held a banquet, so there's only so much leftovers. If you want it, I want it too. Yun can't get so much food. I think we shouldn't ask for it. That's right. Yun can give it to whoever she wants. If she doesn't give it to her, then keep it. Otherwise, my body to recover. Otherwise, my body can't recover, too. Liang Jinfen changed her words again, looking for an excuse from this aspect. Second aunt's body is weak. Isn't your family rich? Don't tell me you're greedy for our family's leftovers. Or is second aunt's family just like that? They're just pretending to be rich to show off in front of us. Otherwise, they wouldn't be so greedy for leftovers. Zhao Yun sneered. After saying that, Liang Jinfen's face turned green and white. She looked terrible. Of course, she couldn't say that her family was poor. If she wanted to take advantage of Zhao Yun's family, wouldn't that be embarrassing? If you don't want to give it to us, then don't give it to us. Really? I've never seen such a petty person. Liang Jinfen said angrily. Old Madame Liang looked at the family quarreling and couldn't help but say, okay, stop quarreling. You're quarreling over such a small matter. Seriously. Since old Madame Liang had spoken, the others couldn't say anything else. They agreed with old Madame Liang, Mother, you're right. We shouldn't quarrel. Chapter 1059. Liang Jinshan pushed all the blame onto Liang Jinfen. Mother, we didn't say that we wanted it. It was second sister who kept talking. Old Madame Liang sighed again and said to Liang Jinfen, second sister, today is your eldest sister's wedding day. Don't make a fuss. If you want to make a fuss, pick a better day. What's the point of making a fuss now, don't you think so? Mother. Liang Jinfen wanted to say something but was interrupted by old Madame Liang. That's enough, second sister. Don't lie on the ground. Get up quickly. Only then did Liang Jinfen get up. Slowly, the relatives of the Liang family began to leave. Liang Jinfen went back unwillingly. After everyone left, Zhao Yun grabbed Liang Jinyu. Liang Jinyu looked at Zhao Yun in confusion. Yun what's wrong? Is something the matter? Zhao Yun nodded. Auntie, you're not in a hurry to go back, right? If you're not in a hurry, I have something to discuss with you. Liang Jinyu thought that although her family was busy, it was not impossible for her to leave. So she nodded and said, okay, then I'll stay for a while. Yun you can tell me if you have anything to say. There's no hurry, Auntie. Let's talk inside. Liang Jinyu saw that Zhao Yun was being mysterious and wondered if it was something important. So she followed Zhao Yun into the room of the third branch. At this moment, Zhao Wenhua and Zhao Tianan were returning the tables and chairs one by one. After Liang Jinyu sat down, Zhao Yun told Liang Jinyu about the plan to raise pigs. After hearing this, Liang Jinyu was silent for a moment. Finally, she nodded and said, Yun'er, if your family really plans to raise pigs, your uncle-in-law and I will definitely be fine. But in the future, you don't need to share the profits with us. You just need to pay us. Liang Jinyu felt that Zhao Yun'er's family was responsible for the separation of assets. It would be fine if they succeeded, but if they failed, they would suffer a lot. Even if they succeeded, they would still get so much profit for her family. No matter what, it was her family who had taken advantage of them. "Auntie, you don't have to be so courteous with our family. If I didn't look for you, I would still receive the same treatment if I looked for someone else. If you're not willing to do it, then I'll have to discuss it with someone else." Hearing Zhao Yun'er's words, Liang Jinyu had no choice but to say, "Yun'er, let me do it. If we make money, it will be a loss to others." Liang Jinyu's heart ached for Zhao Yun'er's family. If she agreed now, she would discuss it again when Zhao Yun'er gave it to her. Then, everything would be fine. Then auntie, it's settled then?" Liang Jinyu nodded. "Yes, it's settled then." "That's fine." Zhao Yun'er saw that she didn't have to waste much effort to persuade her. "But Yun'er, when will your family's pigsty be built? When will we start raising pigs?" Liang Jinfen asked. It would be best if it could be after the harvest in her family's fields was over. "Auntie, after my family's house is built, we can build the pigsty. I estimate that we can start raising pigs in 3 or 4 months." When Liang Jinyu heard this, she felt that the timing was suitable. At that time, the rice in the fields would have basically been harvested. Then, there would be time to prepare to help Zhao Yun'er's family raise pigs. "Okay, Yun'er, call me when you're ready." Zhao Yun'er nodded heavily. "Okay." After chatting for a while, Liang Jinyu got up and prepared to go back. Chapter 1060. She was the one who prepared all the meals at home, so the kids might not know how to cook. She couldn't possibly go home too late and let the kids starve. Zhao Yun'er didn't ask Liang Jinyu to stay and allowed her to go home. Before Liang Jinyu left, Zhao Yun'er went to the kitchen and took out some leftover meat dishes to pack for Liang Jinyu. "Auntie, here, take this and eat. There's a lot left at home, so don't stand on ceremony with me. Bring it back for uncle, cousin, and cousin to try." Liang Jinyu glanced at Zhao Yun'er and said, "Yun'er, that's not very nice. You can eat it yourself. Why are you giving it to me?" Then she continued, "Your eldest uncle, second uncle, and second aunt didn't give it to you. It's not very nice to give it to me." Liang Jinyu wasn't standing on ceremony. She was just too embarrassed to accept it. Zhao Yun'er smiled and comforted her, "Auntie, you're different from eldest uncle, and second aunt. They all brought their families over for a meal, but you're the only one who came over. If you take this back, you won't be able to eat as much as eldest uncle, and second aunt." This. Liang Jinyu looked at the leftovers that Zhao Yun'er handed to her and was still too embarrassed to accept it. "Little sister, take it. Don't stand on ceremony with your family." Liang Jinxiao also persuaded her. "Okay then. Big sister, I'll take it then." Liang Jinyu hesitated for a while before taking it. "Okay." After waiting for Liang Jinyu to go home, Zhao Yun'er cleaned up the kitchen and prepared some meat dishes to bring back for Yili. However, when Zhao Yun'er got home, there was no one in the house. Zhao Yun'er thought that Yili had gone to the latrine again, so she waited in the house for a while. However, after waiting for half an hour, Yili didn't come back. Zhao Yun'er sensed that something was wrong. She wondered if something had happened to Yili. Could it be that Yili accidentally fell into a cesspool? No. Zhao Yun'er stood up with a tang sound and was about to go to the latrine to fish out the person. Before she went, she only hoped that if Yili really fell into the latrine pit, he wouldn't drown. She had to get there in time. Otherwise, she didn't know what to do. However, when Zhao Yun'er arrived in front of the latrine and called out, no one answered her. He looked into the latrine pit but didn't see anyone. "Where is he?" Zhao Yun'er frowned deeply. Since it was not in the latrine, then where was it? Zhao Yun had told Yili not to run around, let alone wander around in the village, so as not to be discovered and exposed. Therefore, if Yili didn't have anything to do, he should have informed her before something happened. Zhao Yun'er hurried into the house, feeling a little uneasy. She flipped through Yi Li's mattress and found a letter on it. It was addressed to her. Zhao Yun'er opened the letter and glanced at it. The general content of the letter was that Yi Li had left because he didn't want to trouble her anymore. His injuries were almost healed and there were no major problems. He could take care of himself. He was afraid that if he stayed too long with Zhao Yun'er, he would be discovered and implicate Zhao Yun'er. However, what Zhao Yun'er didn't know was that Yi Li left because he knew that Mu Lianfeng would definitely come back. Chapter 1061. If Mu Lianfeng came back, how awkward would it be for him to come between them? He couldn't possibly be a third wheel and shamelessly refuse to leave, could he? If Zhao Yun'er and Mu Lianfeng got into a conflict because of him, he would feel even more guilty. So it was better for him to leave early. Even if he couldn't bear to part with Zhao Yun'er, sometimes loving someone didn't mean that he had to stay by her side. He just wanted her to be happy and safe. After Zhao Yun'er finished reading the letter, her brows knitted tightly together. This Yi Li, he really didn't want to live anymore. Where could he go now? Where could it be safer than her home? If he were to be exposed, wouldn't he lose his life as well? He was taking his own life as a joke. He didn't even have the slightest bit of responsibility for himself. However, even though Zhao Yun'er was angry, there was nothing she could do now. Since he was determined to leave this time, she wouldn't be able to find him no matter how hard she tried. Rather than that, she might as well give up struggling and just let it go. She couldn't stop others from leaving. She silently prayed for Yi Li in her heart, as long as he didn't get into any danger. Dao came back from playing outside. When he didn't see Yi Li, he asked Zhao Yun'er where Yi Li had gone. Your beautiful uncle left. Zhao Yun'er said. Left? Where did he go? Dao asked in his soft voice. Zhao Yun'er shook her head. Mom doesn't know where your beautiful uncle went either. Dao frowned. Mom, will he come back? Zhao Yun'er shook her head again. I don't know. Your beautiful uncle didn't tell me. After hearing Zhao Yun'er's reply, Dao couldn't hide the disappointment on his face. Zhao Yun'er patted Dao's head and comforted him. He comforted her. All right, Dao, don't be sad. Uncle Handsome will have to leave one day. He can't live with us. It was better to leave earlier than later. The longer they stayed, the deeper their feelings would be, and the more reluctant they would be to leave. This was the so-called short pain is better than long pain. Mother, why can't Uncle Handsome live with us in the future? Dao was a little confused. That's because we have to live with your father, so we can't live with Uncle Handsome. Your beautiful uncle isn't our relative. Dao replied dejectedly. Although he didn't really understand, he knew that he couldn't be with Yi Li anymore. All right then. Mother. It's just that Dao won't be taught how to fly in the future. The corners of Zhao Yun'er's mouth curled up. It's okay, Dao. Your father is back. He can teach you. Dao's sunken eyes lit up for a moment. Mother, really? Can father teach Dao to fly as high as Uncle Handsome? Yes, he should be able to. After hearing Zhao Yun'er's words, Dao's mood improved a lot. Yes, that's good. Mother, let's wait for father to come back together. Zhao Yun'er chuckled. Okay. Children were indeed easier to coax. If it were an adult, it probably wouldn't be so easy to coax. Of course, a child's sadness would only last for a moment. It would quickly erase the sadness. Zhao Yun'er's heart suddenly felt empty. Chapter 1062. Forget it, forget it. It's useless to think about this. Everyone has their own life. I should get used to this kind of parting. The second day after Zhao Ping arrived at her in-laws' house. At 7 o'clock in the morning, Qin Yuan opened his eyes. Because he drank too much yesterday, his head hurt a lot. He rubbed his forehead. Why does it still hurt so much after sleeping for a whole night? He was puzzled, but he didn't think too much about it. He thought that he was lying on his own bed. Just as he was about to get up, he realized that his clothes were naked. Then, he turned his head and realized that Zhao Ping was lying beside him. Zhao Pinger's ugly face that could not be any uglier was facing him. Qin Yuan screamed. He thought that he was dreaming. But after pinching himself, he felt the pain and knew that he wasn't dreaming. This was reality. This. How did he end up sleeping with that idiot Zhao Ping? From the looks of it, the two of them must have done something. Qin Yuan's frown deepened. His face turned pale as if he had encountered something terrifying. To Qin Yuan, doing that with Zhao Ping was indeed a very terrifying thing. Once he thought about how he had touched that idiot Zhao Ping, Qin Yuan felt extremely disgusted. Because Qin Yuan screamed, Zhao Ping opened her sleepy eyes and asked Qin Yuan, "You? Zhao Ping, how did you end up on my bed?" Zhao Ping met Qin Yuan's angry and questioning face. "Big brother Yuan. We are married. Isn't it normal for me to be on your bed?" "You," Zhao Ping lowered her head and said to Qin Yuan shyly, "Big brother Yuan, we even did that thing last night. We are a real couple now. I will be your wife in the future." It would have been better if he hadn't mentioned it. Now that he mentioned it, the Qin Yuan got even angrier. He felt worse than if he had eaten sh*t. Zhao Ping was that disgusting piece of shit, but he swallowed it. If it wasn't for the fact that his stomach was empty, he would have vomited. It's all because of this idiot. He was unconscious last night. What could he know? It must have been Zhao Pinger, that bitch, who forced him. She was really being trampled on after she got drunk. His parents were really too much. They clearly knew that he was drunk, yet they still handed him over to Zhao Ping. Didn't they deliberately let him be tainted by Zhao Ping? Qin Yuan snorted coldly and said to Zhao Ping, angrily, "Zhao Ping, you have some tricks up your sleeves." Zhao Ping was stunned. She looked at Qin Yuan pitifully and said, "Big brother Yuan, what are you talking about? Why can't I understand?" Qin Yuan glared at Zhao Ping and said, "Pretentious. You really know how to act in front of me." As he said that, Qin Yuan gritted his teeth and said, "Would rather do that with a sow than with you. You must have done something to me while I was drunk." Zhao Ping was still a little afraid when she met Qin Yuan's eyes. She lit the burning passion incense, so she felt a little guilty. If Qin Yuan found out, he would definitely be angry and scold her. So she couldn't say it. Chapter 1063. Qin Yuan was infuriated by Zhao Ping's words. Husband and wife. What husband and wife? He never treated Zhao Ping as his wife. Marrying Zhao Ping was because he was forced by circumstances. He had no other choice but to marry her. Could it be that this idiot really thought she was his wife? She didn't even take a look at herself. Who would be willing to marry someone like her? You. Qin Yuan was so angry that he didn't know what to say. His head hurt violently again, and Qin Yuan recalled what happened last night. Last night. He was indeed drunk and started to roll over Zhao Ping's body like a wolf or tiger. Furthermore, he was the one who initiated it. Once he thought about how passionately he rode over Zhao Ping's body, Qin Yuan's heart felt terrible. This slut. It's all her fault. If she had rejected him, it would have been fine. However, she didn't. Big brother Yuan. Zhao Ping ran over to Qin Yuan and called out pitifully, "Big brother Yuan. You can't blame me for this." Qin Yuan was unusually impatient. Zhao Ping, shut up. I'll settle this with you properly later. Big brother Yuan, scram. Qin Yuan pushed Zhao Ping away and climbed up from the bed. Zhao Ping looked at Qin Yuan's back view as he left in a huff. She was so angry that she couldn't take it. She fiercely bit her lower lip. Why? Why did Qin Yuan treat her like this? He didn't even look at her. Wasn't this too much? However, what could she do? Qin Yuan just didn't like her. Being able to marry Qin Yuan was already good enough. She couldn't ask for so much. If she made Qin Yuan unhappy, that would be terrible. They had just gotten married. She didn't want to be divorced so quickly and rushed back. Otherwise, how embarrassing would that be? Qin Yuan didn't like her. It didn't matter if he didn't want to do it with her, as long as he was with her. As for Qin Yuan's unwillingness to have sex with her, it didn't matter either. Later, she would secretly light up the burning passion incense, and Qin Yuan would naturally be unable to control himself. When she was pregnant with Qin Yuan's child, even if Qin Yuan wanted to divorce her, he would not do it so easily. Thinking of this, Zhao Ping felt a lot better. However, after the torment last night, Zhao Ping felt that her body was abnormally heavy, and she could not move at all. Speaking of which, it was really tiring to do that. This was not an easy task. After having a good time with Qin Yuan, Zhao Ping felt extremely tired. Her whole body was a little limp. In addition, the Qin Yuan had been tossed around fiercely. Zhao Ping felt that some parts of her body were bruised. Especially down there, it was swollen. No. Her body was sore, tired, and painful. She really couldn't take it anymore. It was only 7:00. It was still early, and she was very sleepy. Zhao Ping lay down on the bed again and wanted to continue sleeping. She wanted to sleep for a while more. She didn't want to get up now. After Qin Yuan left the room, he went to find the Qin couple. Yuan, why did you come out? Mu Chunfang saw that his son had gotten up early and asked with heartache. He had drunk a lot last night and even had sex until the middle of the night. He definitely didn't sleep well at this time. Since he didn't have anything important to do after waking up, he might as well sleep a little more. Chapter 1064. Qin Yuan's tone was full of resentment. If the Qin couple hadn't sent him to Zhao Ping's room, then last night's incident wouldn't have happened. What's wrong, Yuan? You're married, so shouldn't we send you back to your bridal chamber? Otherwise, where would we send you? Mu Chunfang asked. Mother, aren't you and father deliberately trying to harm me? You clearly know that I don't like Zhao Ping, but you still sent me to Zhao Ping, Isn't that too much? Qin Yuan complained. Mu Chunfang pursed his lips. Yuan, are you angry? What are you angry about? If he sent it to Ping's room, then so be it. Aren't you going to sleep with Ping sooner or later? Our family doesn't have that much space, so it wasn't easy for us to find a room. Qin Yuan's face was full of unwillingness. No, mother, I don't want to sleep with Zhao Ping. Mu Chunfang persuaded. Yuan, you can't not want to. You still have to sleep with Ping. We can't all squeeze into one room and let Ping sleep in another room, right? The family Qin only had a few rooms. Originally, Qin Yuan and his idiot older brother slept in one room, while the Qin couple slept in another. Because Qin Yuan had moved out a new room, they let Qin Yuan's idiot older brother sleep in the same room as the Qin couple. If Qin Yuan wasn't willing to sleep with Zhao Ping, then the family Qin could only sleep in the same room. Qin Yuan thought about it. This wouldn't do. He couldn't squeeze into the same room as his parents. He still had to squeeze in with Zhao Ping. However, sleeping in the same bed was definitely impossible. He had to sleep separately from Zhao Ping. However, his family was poor, and it seemed that he couldn't get a new bed. She could only squeeze together with Zhao Ping to sleep. There must be something in the middle to separate them. Qin Yuan felt that the reason he touched Zhao Ping was because he was drunk and confused. Under normal circumstances, she definitely wouldn't touch Zhao Ping. Qin Yuan was silent for a moment. Mom, alright then. I'll squeeze with that idiot Zhao Ping, again. Hearing Qin Yuan's words, Mu Chunfang was relieved. He smiled and said, okay. Yuan, I've wronged you. But it's okay. In the future, when our family is better and we can build a big house, I'll let you marry a wife and live in a new house. Qin Yuan responded faintly. He didn't want to continue talking about this topic. In any case, he was in a very irritated mood right now. Mom, boil some hot water for me. I want to take a bath, Qin Yuan suddenly said. Take a bath? Mu Chunfang looked at Qin Yuan with some confusion and asked. Yes. Qin Yuan responded. Yuan, why are you taking a bath so early in the morning? Mom, go boil some water for me. Don't ask any more. Qin Yuan said with a sullen face. Qin Yuan didn't want to mention the reason at all. After touching Zhao Ping's body, Qin Yuan felt extremely disgusted. He had to take a good bath. He rubbed his body with all his might and scrubbed his body clean. Otherwise, he would feel that he was dirty. Mu Chunfang thought that Qin Yuan drank too much yesterday, so his body felt very uncomfortable today. Hence, he didn't continue asking. He nodded and said, okay, Yuan. Wait a moment. It'll be done in a while. Qin Yuan responded faintly and went into the house. Chapter 1065. After the water was boiled, she called Qin Yuan over to take a bath. Yuan, come on. You can take a bath now. Okay, mother. Qin Yuan responded and took some water from the kitchen. He went into the house and washed his body from head to toe. This way, his body would feel much more comfortable. Mother, is Zhao Ping up yet? Qin Yuan asked Mu Chunfang after he was done. Mu Chunfang was stunned for a moment before he replied, no. Isn't Ping still sleeping in the house? Qin Yuan got angry when he heard that. Zhao Ping is still sleeping? I can forgive her for being ugly and stupid, but how can this woman be lazy? Since she married into our family Qin, she should know the rules of our family Qin. No one will spoil her. Normally, a virtuous woman would have already woken up, prepared breakfast, and served her in-laws. But this woman, Zhao Pinger, on the first day she got married, she slept in at his house. If word of this got out, people would only laugh at him for marrying an ugly and lazy woman. Mother, I'll go and wake her up. Qin Yuan said with a sullen face. Yuan, if Ping wants to sleep, let her sleep a little longer. What time is it? She's still sleeping? As lazy as a pig? Seeing that Qin Yuan was angry, Mu Chunfang didn't know what to say. Then why don't you wake Ping up? Okay. Qin Yuan responded and went into the house. Zhao Ping was lying on the bed, sleeping comfortably. She was lying on her stomach with her buttocks sticking up in an arc. She was even snoring loudly. The loud snoring made Qin Yuan frown in disgust. Why was Zhao Yun so disgusting? She made herself look like a man. No, it should be said that he looked like a pig. The moment he saw Zhao Ping like this, he became even angrier. Bang! After a loud noise, Zhao Ping jumped up in fright. He looked at Qin Yuan blankly and asked, "What's wrong? What's wrong? Big brother Yuan, what's wrong?" Qin Yuan snorted. What's wrong? Zhao Ping, what do you think is going on? Zhao Ping, dug her nose and mumbled, Big brother Yuan, I was sleeping just now. I don't know what happened. Qin Yuan was so angry that his chest hurt. Zhao Ping, tch, shut up. Big brother Yuan, Zhao Ping, didn't know what she had done to make her lover unhappy again. It was really strange. She didn't do anything. Why did Qin Yuan like to be angry with her? It couldn't be that he disliked everything about her, right? Big brother Yuan. If there's anything, just tell me. I'll listen to you. Zhao Ping looked at Qin Yuan aggrievedly. Qin Yuan vented his anger. Zhao Ping, you're really something. It's the first day you married into my family, and you actually slacked off and didn't do any work. You slept until now. Aren't you ashamed? Zhao Ping was very puzzled. Big brother Yuan. Isn't it because you were too hard on me last night? Of course, I'm very sleepy. And I woke up. Why did I wake up? No one made me work. I don't know what I should do. Qin Yuan felt that if he spoke a few more words with Zhao Ping, he could shorten his lifespan by a few years. Zhao Ping was now in the Qin family, and she couldn't manage the family Qin's matters. She only hoped that Zhao Ping wouldn't make the family Qin angry like she did at home. Mothers-in-law couldn't be compared to mothers. Mothers could be tolerant, but mothers-in-law might not. Fortunately, Mu Chuanfang's personality wasn't like Hua Chuanhua's. Otherwise, Zhao Ping would be tormented. When Zhao Ping returned home, she would ask her properly. She only hoped that nothing big happened. Zhao Yun had been busy the whole day yesterday, and today, she wanted to have a good rest. Tomorrow, she would go to the town to set up the stall and get busy. She hadn't had a good rest for a long time. Finally, she felt very comfortable. Chapter 1067. Mother, Dao ran in front of Zhao Yun'er and patted Zhao Yun'er. Zhao Yun'er poked her head out of the blanket and said to Daodu, "What's wrong, Daodu? Are you hungry? Mother will get up now and cook for you," Zhao Yun'er said as she rubbed her fluffy hair. She was nestled in the blanket and her hair was messy, making her look like a lunatic. "No, Mother," Daodu ate at grandmother's house. "I'm not hungry." Then Daodu came over to call Mother because, "Mother, Father is back," Daodu said to Zhao Yun'er with a smile. There was a sweet smile on his little face, as if it could melt people's hearts. "Your father is back. Where is he?" Zhao Yun'er was curious. "Mother, Father just came back to the village. Daodu came back to inform you in advance." Zhao Yun'er was stunned for a few seconds before she hurriedly got out of bed. He was indeed her biological son. If he didn't come to inform her earlier, then wouldn't Mu Lianfeng be a lazy woman when he came back to see her still in bed at this time? Plus, with her current appearance and messy appearance, which man would like her? Thus, Zhao Yun'er hurriedly climbed out of bed. She had to tidy herself up before Mu Lianfeng came back. However, just as Zhao Yun'er climbed out of bed, she heard a noise outside. Then, the door to her house was pushed open and a man came in. This man was Mu Lianfeng. Mu Lianfeng rushed all the way back, hoping to come back as soon as possible. He wanted to return to Zhao Yun'er's side and spend time with Zhao Yun'er and Daodu. However, when he pushed the door open and entered, he saw a woman looking at him with an exaggerated expression. The woman's hair was also messy, as if she had experienced something. Mu Lianfeng looked at Zhao Ping a few times before he confirmed that the person standing in front of him was Zhao Yun'er. "Yun'er?" Mu Lianfeng exclaimed in surprise. "N." Zhao Yun'er responded. She lowered her head and wished she could find a hole to hide in. Mu Lianfeng frowned and asked worriedly, "Yun'er, what happened to you? Did something happen?" Mu Lianfeng didn't dislike Zhao Yun'er. Instead, he was worried that something might have happened to Zhao Yun'er. I didn't run into any trouble." Zhao Yun'er pursed her lips awkwardly. "I just woke up and didn't have time to wash up, so..." Mu Lianfeng understood Zhao Yun'er's words, but he was still very surprised after hearing them. "I see." After speaking, Mu Lianfeng's lips curled into a smile. Yun'er, did you sleep until now because you weren't feeling well? Yes. No. No, Zhao Yun'er stuttered and didn't know how to reply. If she said yes, it wouldn't be right. Mu Lianfeng would think that she wasn't feeling well and was worried about her. But if she said no, wouldn't that be admitting that she hadn't slept until now purely because she was lazy and not because she was feeling unwell? Yun'er, is it true or not? Mu Lianfeng's concerned gaze fell on Zhao Yun'er. Zhao Yun'er's ambiguous answer really made him anxious. No, I'm not feeling unwell. I just felt sleepy, so I slept until now, Zhao Yun said softly. Before she could raise her head, she was pulled into someone's arms. Chapter 1068. Zhao Yun was caught off guard and plunged into someone's embrace. What followed was a fresh and familiar scent. Zhao Yun'er's head was knocked on. Then, she heard Mu Lianfeng gently call in her ear, Yun'er. Mu Lianfeng hugged Zhao Yun'er tightly when Zhao Yun'er fell into his arms. He didn't know how long it had been since he hugged Zhao Yun like this. During the days when he was away, he missed Zhao Yun so much that he almost went crazy. Every day, he thought about Zhao Yun'er. He thought about her when he was eating, drinking, and even when he was sleeping. If it weren't for the mission, he would have rushed back to Zhao Yun'er and spent some time with Zhao Yun'er. Now, he dawdled until this time and finally rushed back. Zhao Yun wanted to struggle, but she couldn't break free. You'll suffocate me like this. Zhao Yun muttered to Mu Lianfeng. There was a hint of shyness in her voice. Mu Lianfeng whispered in Zhao Yun'er's ear, Yun'er, I miss you so much. So pretentious, you've only been away for a few days and you're already missing me? Zhao Yun muttered. She was just joking with Mu Lianfeng. Yun'er, haven't you heard of this saying? A day apart feels like 3 years. Although I haven't been away for long, I miss you very much, miss you. Mu Lianfeng said affectionately. The words, miss you, kept echoing in Zhao Yun'er's ears. Zhao Yun'er felt her face still burning. Because of Mu Lianfeng's words, she felt a little shy. She was in such a mess, but Mu Lianfeng could say such affectionate words to her. She couldn't help but admire Mu Lianfeng. This man. Did he despise her? Yun'er, what's wrong? Don't you miss me? Mu Lianfeng raised his eyebrows and asked softly. How could Zhao Yun'er not miss him? Although Zhao Yun'er had a lot of things to do during Mu Lianfeng's absence, she was still thinking about Mu Lianfeng and hoped that he would come back soon. Because of him, she could feel that she had someone to protect her and support her. She had a sense of dependence that she had never had before. Otherwise, if she was alone, she would have to shoulder any problems by herself. Yun'er, do you miss me? Mu Lianfeng asked again. Zhao Yun'er asked back, what do you think? I think you miss me. Mu Lianfeng answered directly. Since you know that I miss you, why are you still asking when you already know the answer? Zhao Yun'er glared at him coquettishly. Mu Lianfeng chuckled and said, Yun'er, I want to hear you say that you miss me. Zhao Yun'er saw that Mu Lianfeng had become like a child and couldn't help but shake her head. He was already an adult, but he was still willful when it came to some things. Zhao Yun'er could only say, yes, I miss you. During the time you were away, I missed you very much. With Zhao Yun'er's words, Mu Lianfeng's lips curled into a smile. Yes. Zhao Yun'er didn't know if she could say that Mu Lianfeng was childish. If you're done hugging me, let me go. Zhao Yun'er murmured. Chapter 1069. Zhao Yun'er's soft body gave him a special feeling in his arms. Especially the faint body fragrance coming from Zhao Yun'er's body. Mu Lianfeng's heart calmed down a lot when he smelled it. He continued to press his chin against Zhao Yun'er's head and took a deep breath. Zhao Yun had no choice but to let Mu Lianfeng hug her. Forget it, forget it. Mu Lianfeng was just a silly child in front of her now. Why bother with him so much? Dao walked in front of Mu Lianfeng and tugged at Mu Lianfeng. Daddy. Mu Lianfeng reluctantly let go of Zhao Yun, and said to Dao, "What's wrong, Dao?" Dao pouted as if he was a little jealous. Mu Lianfeng helplessly tugged at his lips and smiled at Dao. Okay. Daddy will hug Dao too. Okay, Dao nodded, and the grievance and unwillingness on his little face gradually disappeared. Mu Lianfeng was a little helpless. This son was a little disappointing. He was intimate with his mother, but she was very unruly. Now that he thought about it, having a son had its benefits, and not having a son had its benefits. If he and Zhao Yun could spend some alone time together, it would be good. No one would disturb them. Mu Lianfeng carried Dao in one arm and Zhao Yun in the other. The family of three was together again after being separated for a period of time. The scene was a little heartwarming. After a while, Mu Lianfeng finally let go of Zhao Yun. I'm going to wash up, Zhao Yun said. Her current appearance was a mess, like that of a lunatic. Fortunately, Mu Lianfeng didn't mind. Because even she despised herself a little. Yunner, if you are tired, you can continue to sleep for a while. Mu Lianfeng looked at Zhao Yunner with heartache. He knew that Zhao Yunner had not been idle at home during this period of time. Just the wedding banquet for Zhao Ping was enough for Zhao Yunner to be busy. It was not easy for Zhao Yunner to rest for a day. It was understandable that she was so tired that she had not gotten up until now. Zhao Yunner waved her hand. No, I'm not sleeping anymore. She would be embarrassed to sleep with him again. Mu Lianfeng really thought that she was a lazy woman. All right then, Yunner. If you're tired in the afternoon, you can sleep a little longer. Zhao Yunner nodded. Zhao Yunner washed up simply and let Mu Lianfeng rest as well. Mu Lianfeng felt sorry for her because she was tired. How could she not feel sorry for Mu Lianfeng? In order to rush back early to see her, Mu Lianfeng could be said to be fatigued from the long journey. He rushed back, covered in dust. She could tell by looking at Mu Lianfeng's complexion. Mu Lianfeng's eyes were sunken and he looked very haggard. There were dark circles under his eyes. His complexion was sallow and he had lost a little weight. It had only been a few days, but Mu Lianfeng looked like he was sick. The more Zhao Yunner looked at him, the more her heart ached. Yunner. Why are you looking at me? Mu Lianfeng touched his face and asked in confusion, could it be that there is something on my face? Zhao Yunner shook her head. No, it's just that you look very haggard. Are you very tired? Do you want to rest for a while? Mu Lianfeng had rushed back with great difficulty just to see Zhao Yunner and get together with Zhao Yunner. Now that he had this opportunity, how could he use this time to sleep? He would definitely cherish this moment of reunion. Mu Lianfeng shook his head. Yunner, I'm fine. I don't need to rest. Chapter 1070. Yeah, really. If I'm tired, I'll definitely take a break. Zhao Yun then nodded. All right then. But since you said you're not tired, are you hungry? At the mention of this, Mu Lianfeng's stomach grumbled a few times. He hadn't eaten for a long time. At this moment, he was very empty, so he nodded. Yeah, I'm a little hungry. Zhao Yun's lips curled into a smile. She felt that Mu Lianfeng was a little cute. He was obviously so hungry that his stomach was grumbling, but he still said that he was a little hungry and not very hungry. He was simply being stubborn. However, Zhao Yun didn't expose him. Instead, she said to Mu Lianfeng, you rest first. I'll go and cook for you. Seeing that Mu Lianfeng had lost a lot of weight, Zhao Yun knew that Mu Lianfeng was probably too busy to eat. In addition, the food outside didn't suit Mu Lianfeng's appetite, so he didn't like to eat. Yun, I'll help you. Mu Lianfeng got up and prepared to go to the kitchen with Zhao Yun. Zhao Yun waved her hand and said, "No need. You rest. I can do it alone." However, Mu Lianfeng insisted. "No, Yun, let's do it together. I'll help you." Mu Lianfeng still enjoyed the time when he was busy with Zhao Yun. "Aren't you tired?" "It's okay. I'm not tired." Looking at how excited Mu Lianfeng was, it was as if he couldn't wait. Zhao Yun didn't want to scold him, lest Mu Lianfeng lose interest. If he wanted to go with her, then so be it. They could chat while they were busy. "All right, let's go to the kitchen then." Yeah. Zhao Yun nodded heavily. On the other side, by the river in the village. Because Mulan had a lot of things to do, Muhin tried his best to share her workload. Therefore, all the clothes in Mulan's house were carried by Muhin to the river and washed by herself. Ma Xiaofeng happened to be washing clothes by the river. When she saw Muhin coming over, she bit her lower lip and looked at Muhin with jealousy in her eyes. It was all because of that B*tch Muhin that Zhao Tianan did not pay much attention to her now. Therefore, Muhin blamed everything on Muhin. Without Muhin, there would be no woman to seduce Zhao Tianan, and Zhao Tianan's heart would not waver. She would never let go of that B*tch Muhin. No, she had to teach Muhin a lesson. It would be best if Muhin could not stay in the village. After all, this was Shui Lan village, and outsiders were not supposed to come here. Mulan had not married anyone. She had married into their village. She came here to seek shelter only because her sister was from Shui Lan village. If Muhin caused any trouble in their village and caused the villagers to be angry, the villagers would protest collectively, and Muhin would be driven away. She did not need to do it herself at all. She only needed to be the fuse. Looking away from Muhin, Ma Xiaofeng continued to wash clothes calmly. There were stone slabs by the river to wash clothes, but there were not many of them. When there were many people, they had to line up. At this time, there was only one stone slab left by the river. Muhin saw it and naturally walked towards the remaining stone slab. After Muhin walked over, she went to Ma Xiaofeng's side. When Muhin saw Ma Xiaofeng, she was slightly stunned. She felt a little embarrassed. After all, it was because of Zhao Tianan. However, Muhin still smiled at Ma Xiaofeng in a friendly manner. Chapter 1071. She didn't expect Muhin to smile at her. However, after being stunned, Ma Xiaofeng also smiled at Muhin. Ma Xiaofeng thought that since Muhin knew how to pretend, she knew how to pretend too. It wasn't like she couldn't be compared to Muhin when it came to pretending. "Come on, be careful," Ma Xiaofeng said with some enthusiasm. Looking at the friendly smile on Ma Xiaofeng's face, Muhin was slightly touched. Because of the rumors, the people in Shui Lan village didn't like her. No one treated her well when they saw her, except for Zhao Yun's family members. Now that Ma Xiaofeng was smiling at her in a friendly manner, she should be the first person to be kind to her. Therefore, when she saw Ma Xiaofeng, Muhin's heart had a better impression of her. "Okay." Muhin responded with a smile and smiled at Ma Xiaofeng again. After feeling Ma Xiaofeng's kindness, Muhin felt that because of her, Zhao Tianan and Ma Xiaofeng had a conflict. She felt quite uncomfortable in her heart. The two girls were about the same age. They chatted while washing clothes, so they could talk more together. After chatting for a while, Muhin felt that Ma Xiaofeng was even better. Only such a good girl was worthy of Zhao Tianan. Muhin knew in her heart that Zhao Tianan was still thinking about Ma Xiaofeng. Because she knew this, even if she also liked Zhao Tianan and had feelings for Zhao Tianan, she didn't tell Zhao Tianan about it. If she confessed her feelings and was rejected by Zhao Tianan, she was afraid that she wouldn't be able to be friends with Zhao Tianan in the future. Therefore, it was better not to tell Zhao Tianan. That way, they wouldn't feel awkward when they were together. Now that he saw Ma Xiaofeng, Muhin suddenly felt that he could help set them up. After all, there shouldn't be anything between her and Zhao Tianan, so she might as well help the two of them. Mu Hin guessed that there must be some misunderstanding between Zhao Tianan and Ma Xiaofeng. In that case, it would be good to solve the misunderstanding. She then turned to Ma Xiaofeng and asked, Xiaofeng, what happened between you and Tianan? Did the two of you have a conflict? Facing Mu Hin's concerned gaze, Ma Xiaofeng snorted coldly in her heart. Act. This B***TCH really knows how to act. She was clearly the one who had seduced Ma Xiaofeng, but now Mu Hin was saying such things. Although Zhao Yun had a problem with it, she didn't express it verbally. Instead, she smiled and said, this. Tianan and I had a conflict, and now Tianan is ignoring me. With that, Ma Xiaofeng lowered his head sadly. Seeing Ma Xiaofeng like this, Mu Hin felt a little sympathetic. The two of you are doing fine, so why did you have a conflict? Is there anything I can help you with? Tell me, and I'll help you, Mu Hin said sincerely. If there was anything she could help Ma Xiaofeng with, she would definitely help. Ma Xiaofeng wished that Mu Hin would disappear. As long as she disappeared, she would be fine. No matter how big the conflict between her and Zhao Tianan was, it would be resolved. Thank you. Sigh, this is something that happened between Tianan and me. You can't help much, Ma Xiaofeng said and sighed heavily, looking very sad. Mu Hin frowned slightly and sighed as well. All right then. If there's anything you need help with, just let me know. I'll help you talk to Tianan later. Thank you so much. On the surface, Ma Xiaofeng smiled warmly and was very grateful to Mu Hin. However, in her heart, she could only grit her teeth. Chapter 1072. Did she really think that she cared? She pretended to be so good, but she was just a slut. Only Zhao Tianan would be stupid enough to be bewitched by such a slut. Mu Hin smiled and said, You're welcome. As long as Zhao Tianan was happy in the future. When Ma Xiaofeng heard Mu Hin say, You're welcome, she became even angrier. This Mu Xian, she really thinks she's something. What the hell is she? The more Ma Xiaofeng thought about it, the angrier she got. No, she had to teach this slut a lesson. Ma Xiaofeng's eyes moved, and a scheming thought emerged in her mind. Seeing that Mu Hin was about to wring the clothes, she said to Mu Hin, you can't do it alone. Let me help you. Mu Hin was slightly stunned and looked at Ma Xiaofeng. She was a little embarrassed and said, This isn't a good idea, is it? Ma Xiaofeng smiled and said, It's okay. What's not good about it? It's too much trouble for you. Mu Hin lowered her head and said weakly. Very few people helped her, so when others showed her kindness, she was not used to it. Just like now. It's no trouble. It's not easy for you to wring it out alone. The clothes are so big. Let me help you. Mu Hin nodded and replied, Thank you. Ma Xiaofeng waved her hand and said, It's okay. You're welcome. Okay. With that, the two of them wrung the water together. Just as they finished wringing the clothes, they heard a splash. It was the sound of someone falling into the water. The people on the shore hurriedly looked into the river and saw Ma Xiaofeng struggling in the water. Then came the screams of the women. Ah, Xiaofeng fell into the river. Come and save her. Xiaofeng girl fell into the water. Ah, hurry up. Otherwise, Xiaofeng girl won't be able to hold on. Yeah, hurry up. Someone go and call Sister Qian. Tell her that Xiaofeng girl fell into the water. I'll go. You guys go and save them. Good. As the women spoke, they hurriedly ran to the riverside and looked at Ma Xiaofeng in the water. Hey, we don't know how to swim. How can we save people? Yes. Is there a man here? Otherwise, you can jump down to save Xiaofeng girl. Come, I've got a long stick. Let Xiaofeng grab one end and we'll drag her ashore. Ah, that's a good idea. Let's hurry up. Good. Therefore, Several women went to Ma Xiaofeng and hurriedly handed over the long sticks. They shouted to Ma Xiaofeng, who was struggling in the river, "Little Feng, quickly catch it." Ma Xiaofeng heard the women's cries and struggled to grab the wooden stick. The women worked together and dragged Ma Xiaofeng ashore. "Little Feng girl, how are you? Are you all right?" Luckily everyone is here. Otherwise, what would happen to little Feng girl? She would probably drown to death. Fortunately, little Feng is a lucky girl. After Ma Xiaofeng was dragged ashore, she coughed heavily a few times and coughed out the water in her stomach. "Little Feng girl, how are you? Are you all right?" Ma Xiaofeng waved her hand. "Cough, cough, thank you aunties. I am fine now." Several women saw that Ma Xiaofeng's face had turned red from coughing and sighed slightly. Chapter 1073. She was probably trying to make them worry. She was such a sensible and good girl. "Little Feng, come, let me pat you down." A woman stepped forward and patted Ma Xiaofeng's back. Ma Xiaofeng spat out a few more mouthfuls of water. Cough, cough. Sigh, this girl is choking badly. Luckily, we pulled her up in time. Otherwise, what would have happened? Isn't that so? She's fine, she's fine. She's really lucky. Thank you, aunties. Ma Xiaofeng finished coughing and started to express her gratitude. The few women waved their hands. It's fine, it's fine. Little Feng, we're from the same village. You don't have to be so polite. But speaking of which, why did you fall into the water? That's right. Little Feng, why did you fall into the water? At this point, Ma Xiaofeng lowered her head and looked at Mu Hin. Mu Hin was originally shocked by this sudden situation. She only heaved a sigh of relief when she saw that Ma Xiaofeng had been rescued. She was about to go forward and ask Ma Xiaofeng about her condition, but she did not expect that Ma Xiaofeng would look at her when she was questioned. Mu Hin's heart tightened. She had a bad feeling about this. Could Ma Xiaofeng say that she had pushed her? She had found it strange earlier. Why would Ma Xiaofeng fall into the water out of the blue? Now, it seemed that Ma Xiaofeng had deliberately fallen into the water. At this thought, Mu Hin shook her head and denied this conjecture. It couldn't be. Ma Xiaofeng looked like a nice person. She would not do such a thing. But why was she looking at her? Mu Hin looked at Ma Xiaofeng nervously, thinking that Ma Xiaofeng had something to say to her. They stared at Ma Xiaofeng, then at Mu Hin. The women on the shore also looked at Mu Hin. She recalled that there were only Mu Hin and Ma Xiaofeng together just now. If Ma Xiaofeng did not know how to jump down herself, then it could only be Mu Hin who pushed her down. Thus, the women on the shore began to discuss among themselves. They felt that it must have been Mu Hin who had pushed her. "You little girl from another village, how can your heart be so ruthless?" "That's right, but our Shuilan village bullied them." "How can that be? We can't let her bully others as she pleases. I'll have a good talk with Mulan later. This kind of person can't stay in our village." "Exactly. Little Feng girl is so pitiful, let's go help her teach her a lesson." "All right." These women rushed to Mu Hin and pushed and shoved Mu Hin, saying, "Little slut, teach her a lesson. Let's see if you dare to bully others in the future." The women did not show any mercy when they hit, and they used a lot of strength. Mu Hin was pushed straight to the ground, and hurt from the fall. Mu Hin was even more at a loss after being pushed by these women. She muttered, I didn't. She's quite stubborn with her words. She didn't admit that she did it. This girl's character is really terrible. Sigh, how can this kind of person stay in the village? Isn't that so? I heard that she seduces people. She even seduced those men from the family Zhu. Really? The women who had never heard of this before came forward curiously and began to gossip. Chapter 1074. After all, she's her younger sister. Mulan is a kind-hearted child. She probably can't bear to chase her away, then let's keep her around to harm others. I heard that all the men in the family Zhu are bewitched by her. As the women spoke, they glanced at Mu Hin's face. Seeing that Mu Hin was quite pretty and young, they felt that it was normal for men to be bewitched by such a woman. Everyone, you have to keep an eye on your men. Don't let this little B***tch seduce the family Zhu and then run out to seduce other men in the village. Of course we have to keep an eye on her. Men are lustful to begin with. Once a woman takes the initiative, it'll be even worse. Isn't that so? I think it's useless for us to keep an eye on her. It's just a temporary solution. What if we don't pay attention one day? Won't the men in the family be seduced by her? I think the best thing to do is to chase this B***tch out of our village. Are we still afraid that our men will be seduced? Yes, yes, yes. It's best to chase her out of the village. We don't have to think so much. Hearing that the women wanted to chase Mu Hin away, Ma Xiaofeng saw that she had achieved her goal and her lips curled into an imperceptible smile. She was still too inexperienced to fight with her. Mu Hin was scared out of her wits by these fierce women. Coupled with the nasty words they said, she didn't know what to say. Other than defending herself, I didn't, she had nothing else to say. She could only look at Ma Xiaofeng for help. Ma Xiaofeng knew that she didn't push her. As long as she stepped forward to explain clearly, everything would be fine. Ma Xiaofeng met Mu Hin's eyes, and a scheming look flashed across her eyes. She walked in front of Mu Hin and shielded Mu Hin behind her. She said to the women, "Aunties, please don't misunderstand Mu Hin. I don't think it was Mu Hin who pushed me. Maybe I accidentally fell into the water." Ma Xiaofeng's words sounded like she was trying to cover something up. When the women heard this, they felt that Ma Xiaofeng was kind-hearted and said that because she was protecting Mu Hin. Hence, they said to Ma Xiaofeng earnestly, "Little Xiaofeng, don't be silly. How could you be the one who fell into the water? I think it was Mu Hin." That's right. We haven't seen many people fall into the water by accident. Sigh, Xiaofeng, this girl is just too kind-hearted, too silly. Xiaofeng. You don't have to protect others, you should take care of yourself first. That's right. You're soaked in water, so you must be very cold. Little Xiaofeng, go back first and change your clothes. We'll help you deal with this little slut who pushed you into the water. Ma Xiaofeng looked at Mu Hin awkwardly. Mu Hin, I'm sorry. It's all my fault for implicating you. They didn't believe me when I told them. Seeing Ma Xiaofeng frowning and worrying about her, Mu Hin pursed her lips. It's not your fault. Don't blame yourself. Ma Xiaofeng sighed and said, Mu Hin. I know you didn't push me. I must have slipped in by accident. You're quite pitiful. You almost drowned. Don't worry about me. Go back and change your clothes. Ma Xiaofeng pretended to be worried and looked at Mu Hin. Then you're alone. Chapter 1075. Then I'll go back first. Mu Hin nodded her head. She couldn't possibly drag Ma Xiaofeng along with her. These women were targeting her and Ma Xiaofeng had already explained it to her. What else could she do? Now she could only deal with these women. Ma Xiaofeng turned around and left. She really did need to change her clothes. It was very cold, very cold. Otherwise, he would definitely want to stay and watch the show. Fortunately, after confirming that Mu Hin would definitely be unlucky, Ma Xiaofeng felt very pleased when she left. She wanted to see Mu Hin being bullied by these women. The women in the village were not to be trifled with. Mu Hin was just a little girl, how could she deal with these people? Even their spittle was enough to drown him. After Ma Xiaofeng left, Mu Hin had to face the abuse of these women again. They wanted her to get out of the village. This feeling of being wronged did not feel good. Hence, Mu-hin could only bite her lips and bear with this grievance. Even if she explained, these people would not listen. Anyway, they had already judged her to be the kind of person she was. Mu-hin could only stop explaining and carried the clothes in the wooden basin and prepared to go back. However, these women did not give up and blocked Mu-hin, not allowing her to leave. "What do you want?" Mu-hin frowned and asked. "What? We haven't made things clear. You want to leave just like that? Isn't that right? Little slut, you can't let her leave." Yes, you can't leave. We still have to settle the score." As the few women spoke, they surrounded Mu-hin. Mu-hin lowered her head, not knowing what to say. What score were they going to settle with her? She did not push Ma Xiaofeng. Moreover, even if she had pushed Ma Xiaofeng, she had not pushed them. What score were they going to settle with her? Now, he couldn't defend himself, but he couldn't not defend himself either. Anyway, these people just didn't want to let her go. Mu-hin was suddenly at a loss. What should she do now? Should she just let these people bully her? At this moment, a person walked over. It was none other than Mulan's sister-in-law, Madame Qi. Madame Qi liked to join in the fun, so when she saw a group of women gathered together, she hurried over. He wanted to see what was going on. When he saw that Mu-hin was surrounded, he became even more curious. She pulled the woman aside and asked, "What's going on? What happened?" The woman replied, "This little slut pushed Xiao Feng girl into the river. She's so vicious. What we're doing now is teaching him how to behave." "That's right. How does the coach behave? Seducing men is one thing, but now you're bullying people. She's not from Shuilan village. We can't let her be so unreasonable. By the way, family Zhu's sister-in-law, isn't Mu-hin your second sister-in-law's younger sister? You two live together every day, so you should know, right? What's this woman like? Is she seducing and bullying people?" A woman saw Madame Qi and asked her curiously. Thus, all the women present looked at Madame Qi. It could be said that Madame Qi had more right to speak than anyone else present. When Madame Qi saw that everyone was looking at her, she was stunned for a moment before she realized what was going on. Chapter 1076. Thinking of how Zhu Dainyu was bewitched by Mu-hin, Madame Qi became angry. This little slut, she had to let her know how powerful she was. Madame Qi smiled embarrassedly and said, "Her? Do I even need to say it? There's a lot of gossip in the village. Speaking of which, my husband despises me every day because of her. It's as if he's bewitched. As for me, I'm just an old woman. How can I be compared to a 16 or 17-year-old girl? Men will definitely like this kind of girl." After Madame Qi finished speaking, her tone carried some resentment and grievance. When the crowd heard this, they were even more certain that Mu-hin was seducing people. If even Madame Qi said so, how could the rumors be false? The onlooking women looked at Mu-hin with even more strange expressions. The women said to Madame Qi sympathetically, "Family Zhu's sister-in-law, you're really pitiful. We're still all right, after all, we don't live together. You guys live in the same courtyard all day, your husband can't avoid meeting this little slut. Isn't that so? No wonder he's bewitched. As the saying goes, there's no smoke without fire. It seems that the rumors in the village about this little slut seducing people are not without reason. That's right, otherwise, why would they talk about her and not others? Look at her face, she's definitely seducing men." Seeing that Mu-hin was being scolded, Madame Qi was very pleased. This little slut deserved to be scolded. She wanted to see how badly Mu-hin would be bullied and taught a lesson. Let's not be soft-hearted, hurry up and do it. Let's slap her a few times first, then scratch her face and give her a good beating. She'll naturally behave herself after that. That's a good idea. All right, hurry up and do it. A woman grabbed Mu-hin and grabbed Mu-hin's hair, wanting to drag Mu-hin away. Ah, Mu-hin screamed. Just as Mu-hin was about to be taught a lesson, a man suddenly rushed over and shielded Mu-hin. The man who came was Zhu Dainyu. When he saw that Mu-hin was being bullied, Zhu Dainyu was very protective of her. She angrily said to the group of women, "What are you doing? What are you doing? So many people are bullying a little girl." After that, Zhu Dainyu asked Mu-hin, "How are you? Are you okay? Did they hurt you? Tell me, and I'll help you teach him a lesson." Mu-hin quickly shook his head. Although Zhu Dainyu came out to help him, he felt that it was better not to come out. Because if Zhu Dainyu helped her, it would seem that there was something between her and Zhu Dainyu. She would be caught and talked about non-stop. Ah, Dainyu, you're really protecting this little bitch. Looks like family Zhu's sister-in-law was right. He's really been seduced by this little bitch. Look at how protective he is of her. I don't see him being so protective of his wife. How can you compare them like that? After all, the little bitch has a pretty face, and we're all old women now. And you still say that we're bullying her. Haha. I say, Dainyu, you already have a wife. How can you think of other people's little girls? We're not teaching her a lesson for no reason. There's a reason for that. This little bitch needs to be taught a lesson, or else she won't behave. Yes, yes. Dainyu, just move aside. Your wife is here, and you're protecting another woman. I'm not afraid of embarrassment. Chapter 1077. If family Zhu's sister-in-law sees this, she will definitely be sad. How can her man protect another woman? Isn't that so? As these women spoke, Zhu Dainyu's sharp gaze turned towards Madame Qi. Actually, when Zhu Dainyu's gaze swept over her, she trembled all over. She felt that Zhu Dainyu's gaze was as if he wanted to eat her up. Madame Qi knew that Zhu Dainyu would definitely teach her a lesson when they returned home tonight if he did not lay a hand on her. Madame Qi frowned and felt that she was unlucky. Why did Zhu Dainyu come over all of a sudden? Coincidentally, he bumped into her again. These women all had cheap mouths. Otherwise, she could have hidden behind them and sneaked away. Zhu Dainyu was even angrier after being scolded. However, he didn't blush or have his heart skip a beat when facing these long-winded women. What nonsense are you talking about? You think you're in the right when you're bullying others? What do you mean by Mu-hin seduced me? Speak clearly, don't talk nonsense. Oh, Dainyu, isn't it true? Look at how protective you are of her. You haven't been seduced? Then why don't you tell me why you're here to protect her? That's right, your wife already said that Mu-hin seduced you, but you still don't admit it. Sigh, family Zhu's sister-in-law is so pitiful to have such a man. That's right. When Zhu Dainyu heard this, he glared at Madame Qi angrily. This B***TCH still dared to talk about him like this outside and embarrass him. When they returned home, he would probably not be honest if he did not teach her a lesson. In the face of these women's nagging, Zhu Dainyu said angrily, "You're really nosy. What does this have to do with you? Mu-hin is my second sister-in-law's younger sister. What did I do wrong to protect her? I don't know what each of you is thinking. Seriously. Look at all of you, it would be strange if a man's soul wasn't seduced by another woman. TSK, TSK, TSK. Zhu Dainyu, what you say is really interesting. That's right. How interesting. Are you talking about others or yourself? Other men wouldn't dare to make a sound after being seduced by a little slut. Look at you, you're so smug. Stubborn. I really have to hand it to this man. How could Zhu Dainyu, a man, win against these women? Zhu Dainyu felt like his head was about to explode as they spoke one after another. Zhu Dainyu said angrily to them, "Shut up. You're so annoying." He was really good at slandering others. Let me tell you, you better watch your mouth and don't spout nonsense. Otherwise, I'll teach you a lesson when I catch you. Ah, you're really something. Who's afraid of who? Do you dare to hit us? Don't dare. Why wouldn't he dare? If you don't keep your mouth clean, I'll slap whoever I see. Ha, I don't believe that they would dare to do anything to us. Ha, they'll beat up whoever they see. Ha, they probably think that we're afraid. Do they think that our men are just decorations? Isn't that so? He's really attentive as a brother-in-law. Zhu Dainiu realized that these women were much more shameless than men. One after another, he couldn't even out-talk them. You're all crazy. I can't be bothered with you. Zhu Dainiu said angrily. Then, he prepared to leave with Mu Hin. However, the women continued to block them. Chapter 1078. You're not allowed to leave. Mu Hin hasn't been properly dealt with yet, and you're already allowed to leave. That's right. We must deal with this B***tch today. The women spoke resolutely and blocked the way. Zhu Dainiu's eyebrows twitched. Indeed, that saying was right. It was difficult to deal with vile people and women. This group of unreasonable women, who would be able to fight against them. You guys better not go overboard. Otherwise, I'll really make a move. Zhu Dainiu clenched his fists. Mu Hin looked up at Zhu Dainiu. She didn't know why, but she suddenly felt a little touched. Regardless of Zhu Dainiu's motive for standing up for her, this man was on her side. Moreover, he stood up for her when she was being bullied. Even though Zhu Dainiu liked her, or perhaps he had ulterior motives for being so attentive, Mu Hin said weakly to Zhu Dainiu, Brother Dainiu, don't bother about me. You should leave on your own, lest others misunderstand that there's something going on between the two of us. How can that be? Look at these shrews. They'll bully you to death later. Mulan said softly, It's okay, Brother Dainiu. Anyway, it wasn't the first time she had been bullied. Even if they bullied her again, she wouldn't feel anything. When she was in the Mu family, she had endured worse things than this. Perhaps this was her fate. If that was the case, then she shouldn't struggle. Just as Zhu Dainiu was about to say something, Mulan came over. In the village, besides the many women who liked to cause trouble and make things difficult for others, there were also many kind-hearted people. When they saw this, they quickly went to the family Zhu and told Mulan about it. Only then did Mulan rush over. Seeing that her younger sister was being bullied by a group of people, Mulan's fiery temper rose. She rushed to the front of these women and scolded, What are you doing? What are you doing? Are you trying to bully my sister? Let me tell you, with me here, if anyone dares to touch a single strand of her hair, don't blame me for being merciless. After Mulan finished speaking, she rolled up her sleeves, looking like she was ready to fight at any time. If it was in the past, Mulan might not be like this. After separating from the family and spending some time with Xiao Yuner, Mulan figured out one thing. She couldn't be too weak. She had to be more domineering. This was the only way to ensure that he and his family would not be bullied. Ah, Mulan, you're here. Just in time. We really want to discuss something with you. Mu Hin frowned and replied coldly, Discuss something? What's the matter? Mulan, your younger sister isn't well behaved in our village. We want you to send her back to her parents' home as soon as possible. Don't let her harm others in our village. That's right, our village doesn't welcome such people. With such a woman in our village, all of us will be scared witless. Who knows if our men will be seduced by her? Mulan, since she's not from our village, she can't stay for too long. We all have opinions. If you don't let her go back, we'll look for Li Zheng later and chase her out directly. Mulan listened to these women talking one after another and finally understood what was going on. Chapter 1079. What do you mean we're too nosy? We're just telling the truth. Mulan put her hands on her hips and said, no one can chase my sister away. She's not living in your house. Don't tell me you don't have relatives living in the village. Besides, there's no rule in our village to chase people away. I'm not afraid even if Li Zhang is the judge. Others are others, but your sister is your sister. Who asked your sister to seduce others and bully Xiaofeng? Mulan sneered again and said, your mouths are grown on your bodies. You can say whatever you want. But my sister isn't the kind of person you're talking about. Seducing others and bullying others? Do you have evidence? Don't make a fuss if you don't have evidence. Everyone saw it with their own eyes. What evidence do you need? Then let me ask you. You said my sister seduced my brother. Brother, tell me, did Mu Hin seduce you? Mulan looked at Zhu Dainiu as she spoke. Zhu Dainiu shook his head and said, people like to spread rumors. When did Mu Hin seduce me? Mulan added, I'm not even worried that my man was seduced by my sister. Why are you worrying? Come and find me when your man's soul is really seduced. I won't say anything then. But I'll say it now. If anyone dares to bully my sister, I'll fight them to the death. After Mulan finished speaking, she looked like she was going to fight to the death. It was said that the upright were afraid of the unreasonable, and the unreasonable were afraid of those who didn't care about their lives. Mulan was acting like she didn't care about her life. The women present didn't dare to go up and provoke her. Mulan, who are you trying to scare? Mulan curled her lips and said with a smile, who am I trying to scare? Then you can try and see if I'm trying to scare you. Okay, everyone stop arguing. What can we do when we meet someone who's unreasonable? Let's go. Sai, let's go. But Mulan, you have to remember what you said. If we catch your sister seducing someone's man, don't blame us for being rude. The women began to leave in a scattered manner. Madame Qi had long taken the opportunity to run away. If she was caught by Zhu Dainiu now, Zhu Dainiu would skin her alive. Mulan heaved a sigh of relief in her heart when she saw that the women had dispersed. She was really afraid that these women would make a move and hurt Mu Hin. Let's go, Xin. Let's go back. Mu Hin replied softly, on the way. Mu Hin did not say a word. He was in low spirits. Seeing this, Mulan sighed and asked, Xin, what's wrong with you? Did they hurt you? As Mulan spoke, she checked Mu Hin's body. She realized that Mu Hin's wrist was pinched red. It was obvious that she had hurt herself when she was struggling. A trace of heartache flashed across Mulan's eyes. She said softly to Mu Hin, come, I'll rub it for you. I'll apply some ointment when we get back. Mulan's words caused Mu Hin's eyes to redden. Tears started to flow down her cheeks. Mulan panicked. What's wrong? Is it very painful? Tell me, what's wrong with you? Faced with Mulan's concern, Mu Hin sobbed. Sister, you're so good to me. Mulan pursed her lips. Silly girl, you're my sister. If I'm not good to you, who else can I be good to? But sister, they said that I seduced brother-in-law. Do you believe them? They even said that I pushed Ma Xiaofeng into the water. Chapter 1080. Really, big sis? Mulan nodded. Of course it's true. It's not like I haven't seen them spouting nonsense. Besides, I'm afraid you already have someone in your heart, right? Meeting Mulan's scrutinizing eyes, Mu Hin blushed slightly. I know even if you don't say it. You're probably thinking about Yun, Er's younger brother right now, right? Big sis. Mu Hin hurriedly called out, indicating for her to stop spouting nonsense. Mulan chuckled and said, all right, silly girl. It's fine if you're shy in front of others, but why are you being shy in front of me? I think Yun, Er's younger brother is not bad. He's honest and hard-working. If you're with him, I think it'll be quite good. Big sis, you're still spouting nonsense. He has someone he likes, but he doesn't like me, then who does he like? Ma Xiaofeng. Mu Hin muttered. Mulan was silent for a moment before saying, don't worry. As long as he's not blind, he'll know that he'll choose you. Tianan isn't a fool. I believe that he'll choose you in his heart. Big sis, haha, alright, let's not talk about it anymore. If we continue, you'll probably be even more embarrassed. Sigh, my sister is good at everything, but she's too thin-skinned. Big sis, alright, let's not talk about it anymore. Let's go back. Look at you. Mu Hin had no choice but to follow behind Mulan. At Zhao Yun's house. After the family had lunch, Mu Lianfeng and Zhao Yun casually chatted for a while. Zhao Yun was more concerned about the results of Mu Lianfeng's trip to the capital. Zhao Yun only heaved a sigh of relief when Mu Lianfeng said that everything was a success. Yuner, His Majesty is very happy this time. I also reported to His Majesty that this was your idea. When the matters here are settled, I can take you to the imperial palace to receive the reward. At that time, the emperor will grant us a marriage. Speaking of this, Zhao Yuner was somewhat excited. It did not matter to her whether she was rewarded or not. What mattered most was that Mu Lianfeng wanted to bestow marriage upon her. Zhao Yun knew that the emperor's decision to grant a marriage was completely different. If it was the emperor who granted the marriage, no matter who it was, they could not object. Even if old Madame Mu disagreed, no matter what, it was more important to her. All right. Zhao Yun replied. She was also curious about what the palace looked like. Although he had been to the Forbidden City in the 21st century, this might be a little different. The architecture of this era should have the characteristics of this era. Since His Majesty was satisfied, then it was done. Now, Mu Lianfeng had nothing to worry about. He could have a good time during this period of time. The next day, Zhao Yun went out to set up a stall to sell breakfast. Although she did not want to go out, she had to earn money. Otherwise, how could she eat and live? After resting for a day, Zhao Yun's physical strength had almost recovered. On the way, Liang Jinxiao muttered, Hey, Yun, your sister Ping has to go back to her parents' home today. I wonder how she's doing these 2 days after she got married. Under normal circumstances, when a daughter got married, she had to go back to her parents' home on the 3rd day. This was called going back to her parents' home, which was also called going back to her parents' home. Chapter 1081. Zhao Yun's guess was actually correct. Zhao Ping was very attentive when it came to family Qin. It wasn't that she wanted to be diligent, but she was afraid that if she didn't work, Qin Yuan would dislike her and chase her away. She didn't want to leave. She wanted nothing more than to be with Qin Yuan every day. As Zhao Ping busied herself, she thought about how she felt when she made love with Qin Yuan last night. She instantly felt great. After tasting that feeling, she knew how good it was to do it, not to mention doing it with Qin Yuan. It was no wonder that her mother would make such loud noises when she accidentally heard her parents' movements in the room. That was because she was so comfortable that she couldn't hold it in. She originally thought that it was because she was uncomfortable, but she found out last night that it was because she was comfortable. At the thought of this, Zhao Ping felt a little excited. At this moment, she only hoped that the sky would quickly turn dark so that she could light the incense and do it with Qin Yuan alone. After Mu Chunfang taught Zhao Ping once for breakfast, he let Zhao Ping take care of lunch by herself. Zhao Ping went to the kitchen somewhat reluctantly. Mother, I can't do it alone. Why don't you come too? Mu Chunfang replied, Ping, mother still has other things to do. Didn't I teach you once this morning? Why haven't you learned it yet? Zhao Ping pursed her lips in grievance and said, Mother, you only taught me once. Of course I don't know how to do it. You should at least teach me a few more times. You silly girl, why are you so stupid? Cooking is such a simple thing. Do you need me to teach you a few more times? You can figure it out by yourself. Mother. Zhao Ping pursed her lips. After being scolded by Mu Chunfang, she was a little scared. All right, you can go to the kitchen first. Go and do your own things. When mother is done with the things at hand, I'll come back and teach you then. Mu Chunfang replied impatiently. Zhao Ping frowned and entered the kitchen alone. Really? Zhao Ping muttered. What? Her mother was too much, wasn't she? How could anyone learn to cook after learning it once? Cooking was also a skill. If one wanted to learn it without a teacher, it was still difficult. However, since Mu Chunfang was not coming over, she felt helpless and could only work on her own. She was not good at cooking. She had only seen how others did it. Relying on her memory, Zhao Ping got busy. Not long after, smoke could be seen in the kitchen. However, the smell of the smoke was a little smoky. Zhao Ping was almost in tears from the singing and couldn't stop coughing. Cough, 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 cough. Zhao Ping wiped her tears and muttered, "Why is it so smoky? My mother and the others didn't smoke so much when they were cooking." Zhao Ping didn't understand this. She didn't see anything wrong with her burning. Zhao Ping could only continue to cry and cook. The smoke in the kitchen was a little thicker. Qin Yuan, who had just returned from the field, saw such a big smoke and thought that his house's kitchen was on fire. He rushed into the kitchen. After rushing in, he was also choked by the thick smoke. After coughing a few times, Qin Yuan saw Zhao Ping in the thick smoke. This stupid woman, she was still here. Chapter 1082. Zhao Ping looked at Qin Yuan with teary eyes and said, "Big brother Yuan. Why are you so fierce? When did I rebel? I was cooking." Hearing Zhao Ping say that she was cooking, Qin Yuan snorted coldly and said, "Cooking? Zhao Ping, tell me, is this how you cook? You made the kitchen full of smoke. Those who don't know might think that our kitchen is on fire. Big brother Yuan. Isn't there a fire?" Zhao Ping mumbled, then said with some grievance, "Besides, I don't know how to cook. I asked mother to help me, but she didn't help. So I went to the kitchen to figure it out myself." Qin Yuan looked at Zhao Ping as if he was looking at an idiot and said, "According to the way you are burning, even if you didn't burn down my kitchen today, you will definitely burn it all down some other day." Zhao Ping, it's fine if you say that you're ugly, but why are you so stupid? Which family's girl doesn't know how to cook at this age? Besides, my mother taught you once. Now you're blaming my mother. Don't you feel embarrassed? With Qin Yuan scolding, Zhao Ping pursed her lips and said, "Big brother Yuan. I'm your wife. How can you say that about me, haha?" Qin Yuan laughed coldly. She was his wife. If it weren't for his parents' persuasion, would he have agreed to let Zhao Ping marry into his family? What a joke. The more he looked at Zhao Ping's ugly and stupid face, the angrier Qin Yuan got. At this time, Qin Dahai also came back from the field. He shouted in the direction of the kitchen, "Is the food ready? If it's ready, let's eat. I'm so hungry." Men tend to get hungry more easily when they work in the fields, because they use a lot of strength when they work. Hearing Qin Dahai's voice, Qin Yuan asked Zhao Ping, "My father asked if the food is ready. Is it ready now?" Zhao Ping nodded. "Big brother Yuan, it's almost done. It's almost done burning." Qin Yuan nodded, but he felt a little uneasy. He always felt that Zhao Ping was unreliable. "Since it's almost done, you should hurry up and get busy. My father and I haven't eaten yet. I'm exhausted from all the work and I'm starving." "Got it, big brother Yuan. I'll be quick. You go out and wait first. We'll be able to eat in a while." Qin Yuan wiped the sweat off his forehead and walked out of the kitchen. He really didn't want to spend another second with Zhao Ping. After all, he felt annoyed whenever he saw Zhao Ping. And then hurry up and stop dawdling. Got it, big brother Yuan. Qin Yuan went out of the kitchen and waited for a while. At first, he chose to believe in Zhao Ping, thinking that this woman might not be so stupid. Who knew that he had overestimated Zhao Ping? After a while, the smoke in the kitchen didn't dissipate. Instead, there was a burning smell. Qin Yuan's eyebrows twitched, and he instantly felt that something was wrong. Just as he was hesitating, Mu Chunfang had already rushed into the kitchen. Ah, Ping, lass, what did you burn? Cough, cough, cough. It's choking. How did you burn this torch? Mu Chunfang questioned angrily. Zhao Ping looked at Mu Chunfang pitifully and said, Mother, I don't know how it burned. It burned and burned. I also burned the torch according to what you said. I don't know why there's so much smoke. Chapter 1083. Mu Chunfang hurriedly looked at the stove. The thick pile of grass and wooden sticks were all piled together without a single gap. It was strange that there wasn't much smoke. She had never seen anyone start a fire like this in all her years. Not to mention that Zhao Ping, was an adult. Even a child of a few years old would know how to start a fire, right? Ping, lass, you're already an adult. Why don't you know how to start a fire? Mother even taught you today. Zhao Ping, pursed her lips and said, Mother, I'm just following your instructions. Isn't it just like this? Mu Chunfang glared fiercely at Zhao Ping. What do you mean by that? Are you an idiot? When did I teach you to start a fire like this? Mother, it's like this from the start. Look at how stubborn you are. Who would start a fire by piling everything inside? It's so full that it would be strange if there wasn't such a big smoke in the kitchen. Mu Chunfang cursed. She was shedding tears because of the thick smoke. It was really too smoky and mesmerizing. She couldn't stay here for too long. Otherwise, she would really kill someone. Oh. I was wondering why there was such a big smoke. So it's because of this. Mother, I know. Next time, I won't make such a big smoke when I start a fire. Mu Chunfang snorted softly. She could forgive Zhao Ping, for the first time. But if Zhao Ping did it again, she would give her a good scolding. All right, then be careful next time. Don't start a fire like this. After saying that, Mu Chunfang thought of the burnt smell again. Ping, lass, what did you burn? As he said that, Mu Chunfang had already opened the pot. Then, she found a black lump in the pot. Mu Chunfang had a bad feeling. He hurriedly pointed at the black thing in the pot and asked, Ping, girl, what did you put in there? When Zhao Ping, saw Mu Chunfang's sullen face, she trembled and said, Mother, it's the vegetables in the cupboard. Mu Chunfang rushed to the cupboard when he heard that. When he opened it, he found that the meat that was originally placed inside was gone. There was no need to think about who had taken it. It was a good bowl of meat, and it was left over from the banquet. There were not many dishes left at home, and Mu Chunfang wanted to eat it slowly. He did not expect that Zhao Ping would spoil it like this. Zhao Ping could feel the chill emanating from Mu Chunfang's body and asked worriedly, Mother. What's wrong with you? Are you angry? Mother. I wanted to reheat the vegetables in the bowl, but I didn't expect them to burn accidentally. Mu Chunfang was so angry that his whole body trembled. How could she burn a dish when she was just reheating it? He really had to hand it to her. If this kind of thing were to spread, people would probably laugh to death. If it was done by a child, it would be fine. However, Zhao Ping was an adult and yet she could burn a dish. It could only be said that there was something wrong with Zhao Ping's IQ. This woman was definitely stupid. Mother. Don't be angry. I know I was wrong. I won't do it again. Zhao Ping quickly lowered her head and apologized. Mu Chunfang glared at Zhao Ping and felt like he wanted to vent his anger. Next time. You dare to do it again? If there is a next time, won't our family's food be ruined by you? Chapter 1084. Mu Chunfang felt that he was talking nonsense to Zhao Ping. It was simply useless to say anything more. He could only sigh heavily. Sigh, what sin did our family Qin commit? He actually married such a stupid wife. This is simply a rebellion. How are we going to live in the future? After Mu Chunfang finished nagging, Qin Yuan walked into the kitchen and said to Mu Chunfang, "Mother, what's wrong?" Mu Chunfang slapped his thigh and said to Qin Yuan, "Sigh, isn't it all because of this good wife of yours? Just lighting a torch and choking someone to death in our family's kitchen. That's fine. Now, she directly burned the leftover meat from our family's banquet. Sigh, a bowl of meat is worth a lot of money. We can't bear to eat it more than a few times a year, but she directly burned a bowl." After hearing Mu Chunfang's nagging, Qin Yuan's brows were tightly knitted together. He looked in Zhao Ping's direction. Zhao Ping's heart tightened. She knew that Qin Yuan would definitely be angry with her again. Big brother Yuan, Qin Yuan could not wait to rush up and give Zhao Ping a good beating. However, this idiot Zhao Ping, even if he beat her up, it would probably be useless. You don't know anything. Other than eating, you only know how to sleep. Zhao Ping, you are really capable. If you still don't learn from my mother properly, see if I don't beat you to death. Also, you wasted a bowl of meat. Don't eat it for lunch today. Big brother Yuan. I'll be hungry if I don't eat. Zhao Ping grumbled pitifully. You actually know that you're hungry. Big brother Yuan, don't talk to me, mother. Let's cook for lunch ourselves. Let her go hungry alone. Mu Chunfang nodded. Alright, then let's cook for ourselves. Damn, Zhao Ping was really unreliable. Fortunately, there were still some leftovers at home. Taking the time to heat them up, it was quite fast. Thus, because of this matter, Zhao Ping did not have lunch at noon. Usually, when Zhao Ping was in the third branch, she would eat 2 or 3 bowls of rice every meal. Now, her stomach was bloated. She didn't eat much yesterday and didn't eat much for breakfast. The porridge in her stomach had long been digested. She hadn't eaten anything for lunch yet. Zhao Ping was so hungry that her chest was sticking to her back. In the afternoon, she felt that her stomach was very empty, but there was nothing to eat. Knowing that the Qin Yuan was angry, Zhao Ping didn't dare to steal anything from the kitchen. Otherwise, it would be better if she stole something to fill her stomach. So hungry. Zhao Ping mumbled as she rubbed her stomach. She sat on the stool, her entire body feeling weak. Closing her eyes, she suddenly thought of home. These days, because the third branch had been entertaining the men who went to work, it could be said that they had meat for every meal. Although there wasn't much meat, she could at least get a few pieces to eat. Thinking of this, Zhao Ping licked the corner of her mouth. She wanted to go home and eat something. After getting married, she realized how good her family was. But thinking about the Qin Yuan again, she still had to stay. Just as she was closing her eyes, someone suddenly walked over and pushed her. Zhao Ping was caught off guard and directly fell, landing heavily on the ground. Ouch! Zhao Ping cried out in pain. When she looked up, she saw Qin Chuan's face. When he heard Zhao Ping crying out in pain from the fall, Qin Chuan laughed out loud. Ha ha ha, she fell, she fell. Qin Chuan laughed as he shouted. Chapter 1085. It was already bad enough that she was hungry. Now that she finally had a chance to rest, she was bullied by an idiot. The more Zhao Ping thought about it, the angrier she got. She glared at Qin Chuan angrily. Why did you push me? Hee, it hurts, Qin Chuan mumbled. He didn't answer Zhao Ping's question. He was still as excited as before. Zhao Ping took a deep breath. Why was she being so calculative with an idiot? If she asked Qin Chuan why he pushed her, would the idiot tell her why? However, Zhao Ping couldn't bear with this grievance. She walked up to Qin Chuan and pushed him to the ground. You idiot, you still know how to bully others. Because I don't dare to bully you? If you do this again, I'll teach you a lesson. After being pushed to the ground by Zhao Ping, Qin Chuan was also in pain. For a moment, he lay on the ground and shouted into the house, Mother, mother, the ugly monster hit me, the ugly monster hit me. After hearing Qin Chuan's shouts, Mu Chunfang hurriedly rushed out of the house. When he saw Qin Chuan lying on the ground, he hurriedly said to him, Chuan, what's wrong with you? Why are you lying on the ground? Hurry up and get up. The ground is too dirty. You'll dirty your clothes later. Although Qin Chuan was an idiot, he was still a piece of flesh that fell from Mu Chunfang's body. He still treasured Qin Chuan. However, Qin Chuan didn't get up from the ground. He said to Mu Chunfang, Mother, the ugly monster pushed me, the ugly monster pushed me. As Qin Chuan shouted, he pointed his finger at Zhao Ping. Originally, Mu Chunfang was unhappy because Zhao Ping had burned the food in the afternoon. His resentment hadn't dissipated yet. Now, Zhao Ping was bullying her idiot son again. Mu Chunfang said to Zhao Ping, what are you doing? Mother, he pushed me first. I was sitting properly, but he ran over and pushed me to the ground. It hurts. Zhao Ping began to complain. Mu Chunfang's brows furrowed as she asked Qin Chuan, why did you push her? She's becoming more and more disobedient. Qin Chuan muttered, Mother, she's an idiot, Chuan doesn't like her. Mu Chunfang was stunned. Chuan, it doesn't matter if you don't like her. She still has to live with us in the future. After thinking for a moment, Mu Chunfang said earnestly to Qin Chuan. She to Qin Chuan's to get Qin Chuan's Chuan to live to be Chuan's to Qin Chuan to be to marry to be married to Qin Chuan's. The two of them would still have to sleep together at night. Mother, she's ugly. Chuan has never seen anyone so ugly. Qin Chuan held Mu Chunfang's hand and shook it as he spoke. This. Mu Chunfang didn't know what to say. Chuan, there's nothing you can do if she's ugly. She was born like this. Mother, Zhao Yun was gritting her teeth in anger. This idiot, isn't he too much?